We got a
Hold on.
street. Oh, I'm sorry.
Good afternoon, everyone. Um, we're here to do the review for Superman, Man of Tomorrow. How's everyone doing? How you doing, Lawrence?
I'm good. I'm good. I'm good. Shalom to everyone. Shalom to everyone in the chat and who's watching.
Yeah. Want to tell everyone, don't forget to hit that like button on the way in. Um, and I guess we'll kind of get into it. So I guess first off, I'll start off. Lawrence, so what did you think of the movie? First off,
Um, well, overall, it was entertaining. It was very entertaining. It worked out a lot better than I expected it to. Especially looking at the new direction they're going towards after the ending of the Justice League Dark Apocalypse. um, I think on
yeah,
a scale of one, I think on a scale of 1 to 10, I would give it, I would give it a 6, slightly above average.
okay, okay. Um, I would probably give it a 7. Um, I thought it was very interesting. It was good. It was good overall, and but having to do a review on it, it kind of makes me get a newfound appreciation for the video and dissecting it and seeing how everything in it correlates with humans in general.
Uh, you mean in today's current climate?
Um, I would say throughout history as well.
Oh, okay, all right, fair enough.
Yeah. Um, but I guess kind of getting to it. We'll I guess I'll kind of go into a little bit here. Of course, so the movie starts off with a young Clark Kent at his friend's house, uh, looking at a movie, and it's got aliens in it. And I think one of the tell things, in this scene was noticing how the fear in his friend's eyes whenever the alien changed, when he shapeshifted, he was appearing to be as a human. And then when he shapeshifted, seeing the fear and how his friend jumped, the sadness in Clark and how he responds to that. And so, he instantly he correlates how humans will react to him if they find out that he's an alien also. What did you think about that scene there, Lawrence?
Well, it was a solid scene. As far as it goes for just the basic setup, it was a solid scene. What I found interesting is how it's a modern storytelling, but the
Mm-hmm.
format that we're using to show the movie they were watching was really a 1950s style um, kind of film
Okay.
adaptation. Because when the guy changed, one of his headshots as he shifted as an alien was actually the look of the aliens from Mars Attacks.
Okay.
so so that was pretty cool. Um, it's interesting because using that opening aspect pretty much let you know what the movie was going to be about, which is xenophobia right out the gate. Um,
Exactly.
and it was also interesting in the sense that it's a relatively new concept to the Superman mythos.
Okay.
That aspect of him feeling isolated and being an alien and all that good stuff. That was that. I mean, that's something I think they didn't really kick that off. At least on the heavy handedness of it till maybe late '80s, early '90s in the comics. That is. Sorry.
Got you. Okay. So that's a relatively new concept. And you know what? and being, I was a lot younger then, so you had a chance to see them evolve more than me. I think it's a very accurate depiction of humanity and how they would react to such a being, an individual. What do you think?
Oh yeah, absolutely. Oh yeah, I would agree wholeheartedly. Um, like the saying goes, where if you want to, if you really want to find a true counterbalance to how it looks across the board, you do it the same way they did in the movie. You use the Martian Manhunter, one who both are aliens, but one who looks so much like us you never know.
Right.
While Manhunter, who can shapeshift himself to look like us, refuses to do it because he wants to be true to who and what he is. And you see their reaction to him when they see him. So
Right. Yeah, it was very interesting there. Um, that whole scene and that aspect and scene of everything, which of course we're going to get to here in a
mhm.
little bit. But also my take there on this scene also was in the simple fact that this scene, it made me think of of course my favorite character period, especially in Japanese anime, Sosuke Aizen,
Mhm.
and where he states to the main character Bleach, Ichigo Kurosaki, when he says to him, this world was never about truth or lies. There are only hard facts, despite that everyone who exists in this world mistakenly believes that only facts that are favorable to them are truths. They know no other way to live, but for the powerless who make up most of the world, facts that act against them are the only truths. And in this scene, it shows how in this scene how it shows that this is a fact that's not favorable to Clark Kent, the young Clark Kent at this time, and how in this sense that he is the powerless in that sense at that age, and knowing and understanding and seeing how humans will react, to him if they find out that he's an alien.
You know that's solid. And the same thing with Jonathan and Martha Kent. Um, being those very people we're talking about, they know full well what would happen,
Exactly.
which is why they continuously warn him. You know.
Right. 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 And the other thing, speaking of that, took from that scene also was that, you know, after this incident, when Jonathan, he gives him that alien artifact that was in the spacecraft, that brought him to Earth, and him and Martha kind of discussed it. Martha didn't think it was right for him to give that to him, and Jonathan is basically saying, no, it's best for him to learn of where he comes from and everything that he can about, his true culture, of his people, where he come from, so that while he's here and we give him all the tools that we can best give him in his growth, so he can decide of everything that he is and everything that he's learned here, so he can figure out who he wants to be.
Yeah, I would agree with that. Because the interesting thing is that looking, and I don't mean to make this a gender thing, but it's just looking at the dichotomy of when both parents are present.
Right.
the 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 mother will always do what's necessary to protect the child, even if it's a question of lying to him or not giving full information. Where fathers have a tendency to be on the opposite end, where it's like give them all the information as much as possible so they can make a prudent choice on what direction to go.
Right.
So that was an interesting scene to see play out. And don't get me wrong, neither one of them was right or wrong. It's just the nature of their perspective, relationships in correlation with Clark, because
Mm,
the mother will always be the one who heals the boo boos, hug you when you hurt, yada yada yada, while the father is more along the lines of treating the life lessons and teaching you that you're going to get hurt, and
yeah.
saying and there are going to be problems, but you have to
Right.
have the strength of will and character to stand up and move forward with it.
you know I kind of disagree with you a little bit there, in the
Okay.
sense that neither one of them were wrong.
Well, that's what I'm saying.
Um,
Neither one. That's what I said. Neither one is right or wrong. in my opinion.
In my opinion, Jonathan is more correct because of this simple fact. When you look at, because he states, he's like, he's gonna find out anyways. The boy could lift a tractor
With his pinky.
with one hand.
Yeah, with his pinky.
So the thing is, when you think about the fact of an individual this powerful, how lying to them, how deceit can warp their mind with an individual with that much power, the harm that you can do to this individual, and then the harm that they can therefore do to the world, which is what the movie Brightburn kind of showed.
Yes,
so I disagree respectively that Jonathan was actually more correct in this aspect, to where he can actually learn some more noble things about himself and being true, not bullshitting the kid.
Well, no. Well, the angle I was coming at wasn't about who was more right or who was more right or who was more wrong. I was just stating that they both have applicable aspects that apply to at least this particular moment with Clark. Now, I mean, if it is a question of who's more right, then of course Jonathan is. The truth always is a far better choice. Yeah. But I was just stating that in the full scheme of things, Martha wasn't necessarily wrong either.
I see what you're saying.
You know what I mean? And like I said,
in that moment, she wasn't necessarily wrong, but in the long run,
she was. Yeah. I mean, in the long run, absolutely, she was wrong. But I mean, in that particular moment, in that particular scene, Martha was not wrong. She might have. I mean, Jonathan may have been more pragmatic and more realistic in terms of what's required, but Martha wasn't necessarily wrong herself. Her primary responsibility is to protect her child, which is what parents do, male or female, mother or father, doesn't make a difference. But like I said, it's how both genders go about it differently. Martha is correct. We need to protect him. We need to keep him from people who could possibly harm him. And that's an absolute correct answer. However, with Jonathan, especially coming from your point of view, he is more correct, because you can't do it properly without giving him the full truth of who he is, what he is, and what he could possibly become.
Right. And because the thing is, from Jonathan's standpoint, what he wants to do is be able to protect him from himself.
I would agree with that.
As well as not only himself, but from everyone else as well, and protect everyone else from him.
Exactly. And that's the difference, because like I said, Martha's whole point of view is protecting her son from everyone else, and she's not wrong. However, where Jonathan's concerned, it's not, like you just said, it's not just about protecting his son from everyone else, it's protecting everyone else from his son as well.
Because him being able to protect himself.
Exactly. Because if we're talking about him, at least based on the scene, looks like he's anywhere between 10 and 12, and he's lifting a tractor with a finger. I mean, come on.
Exactly. There's not much protection right now that he'll need so much as everyone else could need, because I mean, it's essentially like he's essentially like a baby cobra. Whenever they go for the kill, they inject all of the poison. Whereas the adult ones, they only use what's needed.
Exactly.
But so a child, having its mind warped to the part that it can do no wrong, with that much power, you are unleashing a force on the earth like never seen.
That's true. That's correct. That's correct.
And so I thought, that was a very telling scene, especially, him trying to figure out how to operate that device, and he can't get it to operate, and he just kind of throws it down, and it kind of it glows and floats for a minute, and then cuts off. But also, I like, in the next scene, where it advances time, to where he's grown, he's older, he's living in Metropolis, and he's on a video, he's on video Skype, I guess you could say, with his parents, and they're trying to teach him how to properly tie his tie, because he's an intern at the Daily Planet. And
I was a little sideways on that, but I'll let you finish first.
Okay. Well, no, go ahead.
Well,
Sound like you had something to bring.
well, it's petty. I got to be honest with you. It's really it's really petty.
Gotcha.
But that scene when they're on Skype and they're teaching him how to tie a tie. Like I said, it's going to sound so petty. I know it does, but I think I took affront to that because it seems like it was a stab at fathers. Because let's be real, he grew up with Jonathan present,
Gotcha.
and there's no way you're going to tell me that it takes until he's a grown man to teach him how to tie a tie. That's something a father does. You've gone to church. What I mean? I'm pretty sure by now
Well,
Jonathan
here's
would
the
have taught him how to tie a tie. So
well,
it's
here's the
like
thing.
it's a personal thing. That's what I'm saying. It's nitpicking. I know it is,
Yeah.
but I just
Here's the thing. I think that most wear clip-ons, from what I notice, are the hookups. From what I've seen, it just depends on the individual family.
Then it must be me. Then it must be me and the generation I come from. Cause
Yeah.
I did clip-ons until I was 6, and then after that,
Oh,
I got
okay. Yeah.
taught.
No.
I
did them.
got taught how
I
to
did
do a
them
tie
later,
after that. Yeah,
and I can't remember who taught me. And then, of course, I eventually looked on YouTube.
mm-hmm.
I could do that then, and to see how to, because most ones it's taught. It's the half hitches to the full.
Right.
Full.
Yeah,
So
because the other alternate is the Windsor, if I remember correctly.
yeah, I don't know how to do the Windsor, but I can do the full. And you got other variations as well, but anyways, but I think that's probably accurate for today's time. I think.
Well, yeah. Okay, so looking at it from that
Of not
perspective,
knowing
yeah.
how to tie it, put it that way.
Yeah.
Maybe.
It's just odd to me because, like I said, growing up, that's just something fathers taught sons. So it
Gotcha.
was just weird to see that he's on Skype asking him to do it now. That's something a father would have taught a son years ago.
Yeah, I
So
got you.
and like I said, it's just me nitpicking, and I'm
Right.
looking at it from a different generational perspective, I guess.
Yeah, I see what you're
It's
saying.
not even anything of significance. It was just a nitpick thing for me. That's all.
Gotcha. And after my dad had taught me a couple times, and I think it was a half. I know it was that little half hitch knot, and still a full knot. And but I wasn't after that. It's not like I really wore them that much, so I had to go back and look again because it's something. If you're not doing it all the time, I don't care what it is, you're going to forget how to do it. So
Mm-hmm.
that's what happened. But anyways, moving forward, it goes on to another scene where they're having this big press conference, and Lex is going to unveil his new rocket. It's going to launch a shuttle into orbit that's designed to search for alien life, and I think it's pretty interesting because we're seeing that this is a new telling of an origin story for Superman.
Mm-hmm.
And how he's only going to allow one reporter to answer a question, and it happens to be Lois Lane, who is he says is a recipient of a scholarship for journalism, from LexCorp, and she basically drops the bombshell on his illegal dealings to get the funding from the government, and it's all recorded and on her phone, and she lets everyone hear it, and Mercy ends up destroying the phone, and she pretty much tells hey, I've got other recordings, and
Mm-hmm.
so what's your thoughts there on that particular scene there?
Well, as far as it goes for the dynamic of the film, I guess it works.
Okay.
But me personally speaking, I found it odd because between her announcement and then her playing the audio recording, especially in the audio, if I remember correctly, Lex had made a comment about if anybody wants to be foolish enough to live near a rocket that's going to explode or fall on them or something like that. It was strange to me because you figured as a reporter, realistically speaking, as a reporter, if you had that knowledge, why would you grandstand right there during the rocket launch? Wouldn't you go tell the authorities so they can stop the rocket launch before it harms someone?
Hey, you
And
know
then
what?
bring and then have Lex arrested and all that good stuff and put under investigation. It was such a hashtag Me Too moment. It was just weird.
That led to my other aspect that I was going to next. In the next scene, a few couple scenes. Of course, it launches and he's talking with the janitor at Star Labs, and he says apparently he notices the figure that's been looking at him because he's done he's trying to do this because he's a former military guy, done 2 tours in Iraq. He states and notices that somebody isn't the only the guy got somebody here that isn't the only one interested in alien life or whatever you want to say, and he notices this figure staring at him. And
he said I know a shadow when I see one.
Yeah, exactly. And the rocket takes something blows up, and of course Clark notices, and when the janitor turns around, he's gone. And because he's gone, he notices it's going to be a problem, so he goes to stop the rocket from harming anyone and trying to catch it, and he launches it. He eventually overpowers it and sends it back off into space, and he begins to find out there that his power, he's charged by the sun. That's what gives him his power. He's up there, and I think that whole scene was telling him. And it goes on to the next scene where Perry White, who's he's kind of, this Perry White's kind of like a J. Jonah Jameson-esque, announces that after this bombshell and what she did was she pretty much got herself a job now working for the Daily Planet. You made that comment about her not going to authorities and all that. I think it just goes to show how she is the this character and the ideal and how they operate. It's the face for feminism.
Yeah, I would agree because, like I said, the way she did it, that was a straight up hashtag Me Too moment. Blow them up in front of everybody.
But the thing was, go ahead.
And what was so weird, like I said, what was so weird is that under normal circumstances, realistically speaking, and I know this is a movie, but I mean an animated movie, but why wouldn't you stop the rocket launch? Why would you not notify the proper authorities? And you still let it go off that it can harm people. So that's not living up to the tenets of true journalism. And then after the rocket is launched and Lex realizes that it's going to be damaged, he turns around to run away from the podium, only to get grabbed by 2 cops right there on the spot. So it was like, on the one hand, it was the hashtag Me Too moment, and on the back end of it, when they arrested him, even though they didn't stop him right then and there when she made the announcement, now they're going to arrest him. So it's like, what? Believe all women? I mean,
no. Hey, look, here's what you're missing. Here's what you missed. Okay. She had notified the police already. But that whole grandstanding was to be seen so she could get this job now and be paid instead of having to be an unpaid intern.
Well, of course, yeah. That's obvious.
That's the whole reason behind waiting that's the whole reason behind her waiting until there was an audience.
Well, yeah. Well, as men, we have a word for that: grandstanding.
Exactly, which is exactly what feminism does.
Yeah,
they grandstand.
Yeah, absolutely. Mm-hmm.
So it makes perfect sense, actually.
Oh, it makes perfect sense. I just think it's weird. But yeah,
I guess I don't see it as weird because I expect nothing less from them.
Well, considering who the director was, yeah, I can see that.
I mean, but by the way, greetings, checking for you. Thanks for coming in. But yeah, I thought that was very telling of how she used that, how that whole moment and scene was used to get her into a position of power, which she explains later on in the in this dialogue scene between her and Clark.
In the copy room.
Yeah. Exactly, in the copy room.
Yeah.
And he asked her, questioned her, about how she, did that. You know how she did that with Lex Luthor and got him on the defensive. And you know, she basically, here's where she shows him her feminist agenda of destroying powerful men for two things: for her own ego, and to rise in stock as a reporter, but not for the purpose of exposing corrupt individuals.
Exactly. Yeah.
And then,
yeah.
And whenever he sees she's left some stuff behind, and he sees images of other powerful men, one of Batman and the other of himself, you know, which she doesn't know is him, of course. And he sees how her goal is to take him and Batman down too, who haven't even shown themselves to be corrupt, but she wants to take them down simply because they're powerful men, which is, you know, which is what's, you know, feminism.
All men bad.
In a sense.
Yeah, all men bad.
Exactly. Well, not only that, all men of power.
Yeah.
That's the thing. It's the goal of her getting power to be viewed over them. Yeah, that's, I mean, which was very telling. You know, I found that very interesting. And then also, you know, he sees I think the next, you know, he's looking at what the next thing, you know, there at Star Labs, they detected what a meteor is coming into the atmosphere, and it's on fire. And then in this thing you find, you know, it's Lobo when he goes to meet him. And I find it interesting how immediately yeah, you know what? Checking for you. Not only, you know, our Easter eggs that innuendos that illustrate feminism, but they illustrate humanity in itself. Period. Throughout different aspects of this movie, throughout different parts of human beings, who they tend to emulate, who they tend to show themselves to be. So like with you have Lobo coming in, who is a intergalactic bounty hunter, who has found out, you know, that Clark, which he doesn't know the name of, but who is he's on Earth, and so he goes hunting him. And he tells him that, you know, he basically lets him know, you know, he's the last Kryptonian, which Clark knew nothing about. He knows nothing about where he comes from, nothing about his people. And so a fight ensues. And for a minute there, Clark is, you know, he's getting the better of him. But eventually, you know, Lobo's got plenty of tricks, and he's very durable. As well as, you know, he's very strong. He's no pushover by any means, and he's got a myriad of tricks and different gadgets and weapons to, you know, throw at him. And in the middle of their battle, you know, he throws out this bomb, and of course Clark gets out of the way, and it's this purple goo, and it ends up the janitor from earlier that Clark had been talking to that was working there. He's trapped under the rubble and the glue, and the goo ends up moving. You see it's moving. It's like it's living, and it takes on him, and it forms around him, and, you know, their fights going on, and Lobo, you know, of course, he introduces that, you know, he's got something here to kind of tip the fight in his favor. He's got a piece of a radiated rock from his home world, and he beats the crap out of him, of course. And Martian Manhunter finally makes his appearance, because, you know, he's beating the crap out of Clark. And this whole fight scene there and what goes on there is pretty interesting. What did you think about that?
It was very well choreographed. The thing with the when he pulled out the ring, I got thrown off at first, because the first thing I thought is, where the hell did he get a Green Lantern ring from? So that's the first thing. That's the first thing I thought, because, you know, that's the only green rings we ever see. You know, I've never, other than Luther doing it in the comic books, making it a ring, that's how he lost his hand. But as far as it goes for movies, man, whenever you see a green ring, you think Green Lantern. And I'm like, okay, who did he kill? You know
Right.
what I mean?
I
And then
got you.
not only did he who he killed, but how did the ring choose him? But when he started to explain the kryptonite thing, I was like, oh, okay, it's a piece of kryptonite. Okay, gotcha.
Gotcha.
Um, it's interesting because whoever hired him set him up with all the tools he needed. So somebody knows exactly what Clark is and
Yes.
and and the potential behind him. And that's another thing because I don't think they ever clarified who hired him. If I remember, I don't think they
No,
did.
they never did. They never did. Correct. They never did. And
And then when Martian Manhunter came in to save Clark during the fight, Lobo's excitement on seeing another entity of the last of its race got him all excited. So, mm. But it was definitely well choreographed.
yes, it was.
It was a good fight scene across the board, and
Yes.
went on longer than I expected, but it was good
Yes, it was very good storytelling in the fight itself. I, you know,
because he.
I
I'm
go
sorry.
ahead. No, go
No,
ahead.
I was gonna say because if you look at the fight scene from beginning to end, you'll notice Clark is learning.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Because like the first time that first bomb Lobo threw at him in the warehouse, Clark was surprised to see that he was still standing there uninjured. You know what I mean?
Got you.
And everything they did, Clark was learning more and more of his abilities. Like that's the first time we saw him do the heat vision thing. You know?
Yes, yes, it
So
was. It
yeah,
was.
so Lobo unintentionally pushed him to exceed his limitations,
He did.
which is part of the standard hero's journey, of course.
Right. Exactly.
But just instead of a mentor doing it and teaching him, Lobo as the villain taught him. You know, what I mean?
Yeah,
Unintentionally,
he's
but
having to do it. Yeah, he's having to do it, while he's having to do it now where it matters.
mm-hmm.
um and checking for you. I've actually got an answer for this one coming towards the end of the movie, when we get near the end of the movie.
Yeah, I do as well.
Yeah, it's very, very very interesting. Um because it covers this movie covered a myriad of human traits and a myriad of different human types and personalities. Which, the one thing I want to point out is that Lobo is a representation of chaos, and for lack of a better term, pretty much the
Pookie,
what the world sees as average Black America.
Pookie and Ray Ray.
Yes, yes, yes. So pretty much to simplify it, niggas. Which that can be anyone, but it's usually associated with the Pookie and Ray Ray, the gangster rapper type, that's viewed as Black America across the world, which is how the world views the rest of America, Black America.
Yeah.
Um, so what do you think about that, Lawrence?
Oh I'm sorry. I was my brain was still
Oh,
stuck on the Lobo fight, but no, it's cool.
my
Um, uh,
bad.
no, I wouldn't disagree. The only difference I would say is Lobo's more structured chaos,
Yes,
while
I'll say
while the comparison that he represents is not,
yeah,
but it's chaos nonetheless.
yeah. He's a little
Um,
bit more controlled
yeah.
chaos.
But I had wanted to make a comment about the thing about them not clarifying who hired Lobo to come get him.
Okay, go
Um,
ahead.
but there was a brief comment that Lobo made where he said something about the only one within Sector 2814 or something like something about within Sector 2814 on and Earth is in that sector, which made me think that as far as it goes for who hired him, I'm wondering if it's the Guardians of the Universe, the mentors to the Green Lanterns, because they're the only ones who break the galaxy down in sectors like that.
Okay.
So I wanted to get that out. I forgot to mention it before,
Okay.
but as far as it goes for the Lobo thing, Yeah, I would agree with you. Like I said, the only difference that I can see is one's structured while one's just non-structured chaos.
Gotcha.
Um, but the analogy is solid.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Also, also in this scene, when he's getting beat down, of course we see the introduction of Martian Manhunter, who comes into his purest Martian form to help Clark out, and so the fight ensues. He gets him off of him, and Lobo gets to ends up getting the better of the Martian Manhunter whenever uh, Clark takes off to go into space, to heal and rejuvenate himself by the rays of the yellow sun, and comes back and he radiates so much energy, that his clothes are they just they erode to nothing, and so he's hurling at him at high speeds, and Lobo, he blocks, and you see all this smoke. And when it clears, Lobo just kind of looks. He moves his hand, and he looks at it and says, "Yeah, this is funny." He knocks him out, and it's that scene's pretty funny there. And he's going. It cuts to another scene where he's going back home, and he's got some clothes on. He's with his parents. He tells them to stop the truck, and it cuts again to where they're pulling up at home, and the shadow is the janitor called him. He's got a cloaked figure. He's got a trench coat and a hat, and he asks him, about their son and where is he, and they tell him he's gone, and for him to leave now, and of course here he comes a fight, and he phases like the Martian Manhunter does, so now that this figure is a Martian Manhunter, and a little play fight scene here. Well, it's not playing at first for Clark, and he changes shapes to allow him to know that hey, he's an alien like him. He thought that maybe he was Martian, not at this point, but he says earlier when he was younger. He could sense him, and he ended up, in doing so, trying to mind meld with him as Martians do. Finds out that he's not. He's Kryptonian, in fact, and ends up getting into his memories in an untended form. And he this device, when they go in, the parents they pour tea, and they talk, and he they tell him, they pretty much are hospitable with him in his Martian form. And it's pretty interesting to show how how they are, and how they affect Clark to end up representing the best of what humanity should be, which is to me why even though Superman is called the Man of Tomorrow, he really should be called the Man of Never, because he represents exactly what humanity is not. Any thoughts? What are your thoughts on this scene here, Lawrence?
Well, I was a little perturbed because
Okay.
I know during that scene, especially when he started sharing the memories he unintentionally picked up from Clark with the meld, he had made a comment about about um Clark's mother, Laura,
Okay.
where she had said something about to dwell in the past is to lose one's path. And
Ah.
and I was a little bothered by that because what they
Okay.
did, that was another one of those little hidden in your windows with with um with feminism, because ever since 1978 Superman movie with Christopher Reeve, where Marlon Brando played Jor-El,
Right.
the going thing was always stated by the father. They are good people, Kal-El. They,
Mm.
at least they wish to be. They only need to be shown the light or something like that. And
Yeah,
they
they
took
need to
that
be
from, and
shown how.
yeah, they need to be shown how. And they took that from Jor-El and
Mm-hmm.
gave it to Laura as the last word said to Clark. before they sent
Right.
him off. And in addition to that, that's the cheesiest line I've ever heard.
Mm.
That's how I took it. That's how I
Okay.
took it. Because that statement, it's double talk. To dwell in the past is to lose one's path.
Yeah.
It's drivel. If you really think about it and think on it, it makes no sense.
This is where I disagree with you. When you look at it in the sense of how it applies to Black America, it makes plenty of sense. Okay.
Oh well, looking at it from that perspective, yeah. I've just meant with
Yes, exactly.
I just meant within the storyline itself.
Yeah.
It didn't make sense.
So it's riddled to me with things that apply to different cultures. Okay, when you take that, who in Black America is seen as the leader or the pillar of the Black American society?
Today, no one.
No. Who is seen and who is pushed out there as a Black woman?
Absolutely. Yeah.
So you take that statement by her that to dwell in the past is to not, it's pretty much to lose your path to the future. What has happened?
So in other words, forget about the Black men who were the leaders. It's
no. That's not it at all.
Okay.
What has Black America done? They dwelled on slavery, so they have no future. But this is something that the Black woman pushes for them to dwell on that pain and on that emotion of that, instead of actually forgetting about that past so they can forge an actual productive future.
Mm-hmm.
They don't. That's not something that they teach.
Well, yeah, that's true. Yeah, we're looking at it from that perspective.
It makes plenty of sense. It makes plenty of sense.
But just within the context of Superman himself and the story as a whole, that's what my issue is, because it's really telling you to continually to live in the past, where Jor-El's phrase was talking about moving.
No, it's not telling him to live in the past. It's actually telling him the opposite.
How so?
Because she basically is saying, living in the past, you can't become who you need to be in the future, because his people are dead. And if he's living in that, he's dying. He's going to be dying himself also. So like with Black America living in the past of slavery, they're still enslaving themselves today. You see that now?
From the Black perspective, yes. From the storyline perspective, no.
You still don't. Okay.
Yeah, I'm being honest. I'm gonna have to let that circle around in my head.
Yeah.
I know he's making a correlation checking for you. I honestly do. It's just for some reason it's not clicking for me right now.
Yeah.
And it's not a bad thing or a good thing. It's just not clicking. I gotta let it soak in there for a little bit.
Yeah, I know. I can tell. But
I definitely get it. I definitely get the correlation as far as it goes for Black America. I get that.
It's the same.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I absolutely get that part. It's just I guess I'm stuck on the Jor-El thing in my head.
Yeah, that's what it is. That's what it is.
More than likely. Yeah.
Yeah, that's what it is.
But I thought I didn't mean to take so long on that.
No, you're good. You're good. Because the thing I think the funny thing is that in our talks that I've actually helped you appreciate, going off topic a bit, the portrayal of Henry Cavill Superman and what he wanted to do with his story.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, absolutely.
It correlates with
and that's what I'm saying, because I get the correlation to the world on the outside, Black feminism, yada yada. I think because the way I grew up and what I grew up with, at least the versions of Superman that I grew up with, that's where I'm having difficulty. Mm-hmm. I gotta get out of that space to look at it.
And you know what? I'm going to be honest. Until you mentioned it, I had forgotten about Jor-El being the one to bring that to light. Being the one to be in the last voice of reason for him.
Yeah. Because like I said, her focusing on the future, when Jor-El made his comment, when she was talking about how the past affects you, Jor-El didn't even bother with stating the past. He only talked about the present and what it could mean for the future.
Right.
Right out the gate. He's like, they're good people. At least they wish to be. That's the present.
Right.
Well, I'm sorry,
Well,
they're good. They're good people. That's the present. At least they wish to be. They only need someone to
exactly.
show them the light. That's the future.
Exactly.
So I
But
think in my head, I think in my head I'm just blocking because it was a woman saying what she had to say instead of it
yes.
being Jor-El. I think
And
that's
we'll
what it
and we'll
was.
correlate it, and this will correlate to what happens later on too.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Also, and what checking for you got put in the chat was, so what you're saying, to go take Gamerverse, that thinking backward, i.e. the past, can be interpreted as a hindrance, and thinking forward is open. Yes. Well, not so much thinking backward, but focusing backward.
Living in
It's
it.
one thing, yes, living in the past. It's one thing to use the past as a reference and a footprint of how you can move forward. But when you're living in there, you're never moving forward. You're staying back there. So thus you're staying unproductive. You're being a hindrance. You're being stagnant.
Yeah.
If not downright poisonous, in a sense.
Yeah. Actually, yeah. That's a good. That's a good phrase, because that's eventually what it's going to lead to, being poisonous,
Yes.
not just to yourself, but to the people in your environment.
Yes, to generations coming up.
Yeah.
That's what I was alluding to in that correlation. But I guess now, moving forward, that what we just talked about. About that cutscene and how he explains to him. He goes on to explain to him what he is, and he gives him a piece, and he shows him pretty much how to open this device for information. That way, he can learn about his Kryptonian past and what his people were like, and learn about his parents. And I think that it just goes to show. Also, in this cutscene, it just goes to show how the positive influence that Jonathan and Martha had on him, and how they give him how Martha gives him a new suit to wear, because she said, we're tired of buying you new clothes for every time you do something, and she says that it's part of the fabrics that he was wrapped in that came with him in the spacecraft, and how she explains pretty much how durable it is, how she went through some saw blades trying to cut it and everything. It's pretty interesting, but it also shows here in the traditionalism of a woman being able to still doing sewing and clothes making, and the different designs and stuff that she put in to his suit.
Right.
That
but they removed Parr from that, because when they revamped Superman in the 80s and the 90s, Parr Kent was instrumental in designing that uniform.
And also in my era, it was actually Jor-El who put this. It was something. It was a uniform that adjusted to his size, and it was a Kryptonian already. So and so in mine they removed the aspect of Jor-El putting this in there, and also the other thing that you get, what we get to later, is whenever he goes instrumental, and when he has to go to help for Lex, and asking what that, and Lex asking what the S stands for on there, and he says super. Well, what I come up with in my time, is when he learns, that actually, for one, it's the symbol of the bloodline of his father's people.
Well, and that's the thing, and that's the thing that throws a lot of a conversation off sometimes, because it gets to a situation where so many variations of Superman over the generations, and depending on who you're talking to, that it means something totally different. Because, like I said, when I grew up, I had two versions of Superman initially. I had the original, where the S meant literally that. It was just S for super. Then I had the Silver Age Superman, which was the 50s, the 60s, and the 70s, in which the S was a family crest, and only for his family.
Yes.
And then eventually, when the 90s kicked in, it switched over to the S being representative of the word hope in Kryptonian.
Both, and still the
and still the family crest, yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah,
Exactly.
yeah, 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 yeah. So it gets tricky. It gets tricky.
In which part of the 90s is also considered part of the Silver Age as well.
No, no, the
It's
90s is
not.
considered. No, no. The golden age ran from 1938 to 1952. The
Well, see,
silver
I
age,
thought.
the silver age ran from 1952 till about 1976.
See, I thought.
1976 to 1985 is the bronze age, and everything after the 85 till to into the 90s was considered the modern age.
See, I thought it was Silver Age because of the simple fact of the correlation of characters. Because of the simple fact in the 90s, you had Wally as the Flash and also as the Flash, whereas Golden Age Flash was Barry Allen.
No, golden age Flash is Jay Garrick. Silver age
Okay.
Silver Age
That's
Flash
right.
is Silver Age Flash
That's
is
right. I
Barry
forgot
Allen.
about Jay Garrick.
Yeah,
That's right.
he
That's right.
yeah
That's right.
he appeared. The Silver Age officially started with Barry Allen's Flash in Showcase #4 from 1956.
Okay.
That
Okay.
is considered the official
My
start
bad. My
of
bad.
no, you're fine, you're fine. Because it gets tricky because
That's right.
the timelines move and change and yada yada
That's
yada.
right.
It's
That's right. Jay Garrick.
tricky.
That's when you had the Green Guardsmen and everybody like that.
Well, that's from the animated show. Those were just made up for the show.
Okay.
What it really is that the Golden Age was the original Superman that we know from the radio show back in the 40s and 50s, the original Batman, which was represented by Adam West, and then we had the original Green Lantern being Alan Scott, not Hal Jordan. Then we had
Gotcha.
Jay Garrick as the Flash, so on and so forth.
Gotcha. Gotcha. Gotcha.
Yeah, yeah,
Okay.
it's confusing. I mean,
Yeah, it's a lot
they've
that.
re- they've rebooted the universe at least 4 or 5 different times, and the characters will change and be different people and all that.
Yeah, at least.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. At
More than
least,
anything.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. It is, it is. Not to mention the multiple parallel universes
Yeah.
spun off.
It's a lot of
It gets it gets confusing. It really
everything
does.
runs together. Yeah, correct.
Hmm.
And to address what Check for You has put in the chat. So, do you think our current state of contemplation, remaining idle, is a reflect of that stagnation? I won't say it's a state of contemplation. To me, it's a state of living in the past. It's not contemplation. It's living in the past. They're not just reflecting back on past events that are out of scope of future projects. They're actually living in that. Because they're living in it, they know no other way to create to move forward. And also when you consider Black America being that the whole goal has been to have the power stripped from the men and for the women to be on the forefront. And you see it in television. As a matter of fact, Mr. Fantastic did a live stream based on the movie Antebellum.
Yes, he did.
Yeah, and how it even shows her being a breadwinner, the man being the housewife, her going to school, laying down the law, and him being out of focus when she's talking to the girl, when she's doing the child rearing. And different scenes where the woman is put up front and in focus while the man is put out of focus and in the back. The thing is that when you talk about this state of stagnation, it's actually really truly it's a state of toxicness because of the simple fact it's always been men who have progressed culture, who have progressed societies and nations in a positive manner. Because men build. I mean, it's just a reflection of the nature, the basic nature of our biologies at play, and how truthfully women can't do that. It's not in their nature. You'll have no Amazons. It's all false. You cannot have it.
Because realistically speaking, and it works both ways. Whether it's men who are building it because they want to achieve a level of greatness for themselves or for society as a whole, or even the men who only do it because it's their way to get access to women. Nonetheless, it still comes down to the same thing. Men are the ones who are progressing the narrative for society forward. whether it be through technology, whether it be through philosophy, whatever have you may. You have a woman who complains she don't want to do laundry. Okay, she might have been the motivating factor, but it's still the man who created the washing machine.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Well,
She don't want to
even before that, the washing board.
Exactly, the washing board. Same thing with don't want to wash dishes. Okay, it might be a woman who motivated the purpose for it, but the men built the dishwasher.
Right.
It just is what so it makes no difference whether you're doing it for or not for women. It still ends up being that the motivating factor to make it happen is and always will be men.
Yeah. Well, no, the motivating factor to make it happen is the women, but the creation and blueprint for it, the creation and blueprint for the devices and the ingenuity behind it is the men. But yes,
I'm sorry.
Fasten is life. The symbol S was also evolved from the Hebrew word for hope, Sabar, that was on the Man of Steel movie. Yes,
that is correct.
We alluded to that earlier, talking about how the evolution of that came in with the Silver Age, with it being the family crest, being the symbol for the line of El, as well as it meaning hope.
Well, you have to understand that was going to be part of it regardless, because Jerry Siegel, who created Superman, is Hebrew. And then he brought on Joe Shuster to be the artist, who's also Hebrew. Okay. And Jerry Siegel will tell you point blank that the concept of Superman, at least this iteration, is based on the story of Moses. However, what a lot of people don't know is that before he did this version of Superman, there was one before. It was in high school. He made a black and white thing for the school newspaper. It was called Reign of the Superman. And actually, Superman looked like the version of Lex Luthor now. And he was a bad guy.
He was bald?
He was bald and a bad guy, yeah.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. Yep. And a straight up bad guy. It was called Reign of the Superman. It was like 2 or 3 pages he did for the school newspaper.
And I guess that later inspired the creation for the character of Ultraman.
Could be. I'm not sure.
Yeah. Because he was an alternate universe Superman that didn't get raised by Martha and Jonathan Kent, Jonathan and Martha Kent, and he was. They were in that one. All the good guys from Earth 2, they were bad guys in this universe and everything. So but moving on to how. Gosh.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. We moved off. I'm sorry.
Yeah, but moving on forward to how this janitor during this fight, he became this bomb that explosive that Lobo set off. It turns him into what we know. This is a new origin for the parasite, and it's pretty interesting how he gets created, and there's a scene where they've taken him in, and he's in the hospital, and they're cutting him open, taking body parts out, and he's not dead. He's alive. And he starts feeding on the lives of the doctors and nurses and everyone in the operating room, and he absorbs them all. And it's a force that is what's the word I'm looking for? It's starving for energy. It's got an insatiable hunger for energy and power. And for me, this was a representation of feminism. What are your thoughts so far, Brother Lawrence? You there?
Yeah, no, I'm here. You paused because I never thought about that scene like that until you just said it. I literally did not think of that. I literally did not think of that. And it's interesting because oh wow. See, I didn't think about it because the people he took out were predominantly women. But the funny thing. Yeah, except for the one, yeah. But what's fascinating though is after you said that, my brain's thinking to myself, is that them subconsciously admitting that if the parasite represents feminism and him feeding on women, is a subconscious admission that they're wrong and they're doing more damage than they are good. That's it. I didn't think about that till you just brought that, because I didn't think about that scene in that capacity at all.
Yeah,
at all. Yeah. That's why I paused, because you kind of threw me off. So, I mean, in a good way. I mean, in a good way. But
and that's interesting. Not only is it a representation for feminism, but it also represents weak-minded or mentally challenged or mentally or emotionally damaged and broken people as well, because mentally and emotionally immature people as well, because of when you have these people that have this damage or have these, hold on.
Why, you little bastard. Yeah, okay, I'm gonna get you. All right, so we're just waiting for Eisen to come back. But like I said, that scene with the people trying to save the parasite, that was interesting. I didn't think about it that way. And like I said, if parasite represents feminism, and the vast majority of people that he killed in that scene were women, I'm wondering if they subconsciously told the truth that feminism is doing more harm to women than good. That's a very interesting take to consider from my perspective. Because like I said, there were 4 people in there. 1 was a dude, 3 were women. Interesting. Very interesting to consider. All right. So I don't know what I want to talk, but I don't know what to discuss, because I don't want to jump ahead of
my bad. Thank you. I had to go to the bathroom.
No, I was just about to say I didn't want to jump ahead, because I didn't know, because you're doing it scene by scene, and I didn't.
Oh, that's good. I mean, it wouldn't have bothered me. I could come in. I've seen the movie.
Yeah,
but
what I was saying is that scene you talked about with them trying to save him. Yeah. I mean, like I said, the way I'm seeing it in my head is that's very interesting, because, like I said, if the parasite is feminism, and the 4 medical people in there taking care of them, and 3 of them were women, and it literally showed parasite killing the women, it makes me wonder if they're subconsciously admitting to the truth that feminism is doing more harm than good to women.
And it, like I said, it also alludes to the mental and emotional immaturity in individuals as well, or those who are genetically, because of whatever deficiencies there may be, who can't mature or learn slower. It affects it's this character speaks to those as well too, because of the simple fact of it, how you handle them also affects how they're going to grow, and they can end up becoming this insatiable individual that, you know, they feed. They become, what's the word? They're so damaged that they respond and lash out at everything in an emotional state whenever they shouldn't. Their growth is halted, and you end up creating a problem that can morph into a chaotic problem.
Yeah, I can see that. Yeah.
And oh yeah, peace to you as well, Vision. Thanks for coming out. When, like I said, you know, moving forward, when it goes to I think next is whenever you have Lois, when she goes to interview Lobo, and because she wants to find out more about what she's calling the Superman, and just the shenanigans he's doing there. You learn, like you stated earlier, you know, he's kind of a controlled chaos, and he likes keeping. Uh, you kind of can't believe a lot he says. You learn because he'll say something and then he'll be like, "Ah, I'm just kidding. I'm bullshitting with you, pretty much." And
Mhm.
so you learn that he is chaotic, but he's a lot more smarter than what he lets on.
Oh yeah, without doubt, without doubt.
Yeah,
I mean, that's simple enough as it is. It doesn't need to
yeah,
be expanded on.
yeah. It is. It is. And then you move forward to, of course, you know, they have the fight and um, where Superman goes after Parasite. You know, Parasite, of course, gets the better of him as well as Martian Manhunter. And so it goes on to want to feed on everyone. And you have the cut scene here where Clark, you know, he wakes up in his bed, and you know, he's still reeling from the effects of Parasite, you know, feeding off of him, and you know, he's still weak. He grabs a glass of water on the nightstand in his bed, and he ends up smashing, and it cuts his hand. So you see that he's been severely weakened now. And Lois comes, and she sees his hand. She tends to his wound and all that crap, and she they have a dialogue here where she says that, you know, that it comes a time where, you know, sometimes you got a problem you can't handle. You need to go to somebody who's smarter than you to help you along. And her whole play here is to get in on his story so she can raise her stock. And he asked, you know, she's like, oh no, I'm not trying to steal it. She was like, I'm just trying to be somebody you can talk to. And it helps him realize that in order to beat Parasite, you know, he needs to go to Lex Luthor, who's probably, you know, like, it makes me think back to Gene Hackman's portrayal of him when he says the smartest criminal mind of this century. And and so, you know, so Clark knows, you know, if there's anybody that can figure out how to defeat him, it's him. And so he goes, and that's where I said, you know, they have the dialogue about how, you know, what the S on his outfit means and all that. And he just says Superman and all that. And so Lex, you know, arranges for him to be able to leave for a few days to be able to come up with the way to be able to stop this Parasite, who is now turned into a major threat. Um, and so Clark in this scene, you know, he finds out that he's enlisted the help of Lobo because he knows that he's fed off the energy of Superman, and he knows about the fight that they had and how, you know, Lobo was beating the crap out of him. So he knows his weaknesses. So he pretty much paid for him to be a consultant and helping this aspect of knowing the weaknesses of Superman. So he finds them out, and they go, and they prepare for this fight to try and take down Parasite, who at this point is engorge himself on every source of power he can find. You got anything to add here before we move forward?
Well, going back to the to the Clark and Lois scene.
Oh yes, yes.
Oh, for crying out loud! Um, first of all, who knocks on the apartment door and because they don't get an answer, kick the door in? That's number one. I,
Yeah.
I did not understand the logic of that whatsoever. Whatsoever. She's knocking, he's not answering, he don't want to answer, and she kicks the door in. I'm like, yeah, okay. Yeah, okay. Um, that made no sense. And then going back to the thing about her giving him the speech about finding someone who's smarter, et cetera, and so on. Again, that's something you would have expected him to have that conversation with his father, Jonathan, and that would have been the advice Jonathan gave, following the standard Superman portrayal. But man, when she tried to manipulate him to get that story, I'm like, are you serious? Are you serious? And then he pushes her out the door, and she tries to cover up by saying, "Oh, we could have shared the byline. How you going to share something you don't own?"
Right.
I'm like, what? Are you serious?
Yeah.
And I was sitting there because it goes back to another scene earlier where he was talking to her, and he was how she was talking about how she was going to use a power play to interview
Also,
Superman by making him
yes,
wait and all that other. And I'm sitting here and I'm
yes,
like, yeah, okay, that's female game simplified. For real, for
yes,
real. That's female game
yes.
simplified. I'm like,
That's
come on
great.
now. I'm like,
And
y'all hitting all those points. Okay.
yeah,
So
and being you brought that up, that I moving so fast and moving here and there, I forgot about that. That's important because of the simple fact of how he's been portrayed throughout history is pretty much being a cuck for
mm-hmm,
her. And it was very telling here how he pushed her out the door, during the
mm-hmm,
scene. That was awesome.
yep.
And also what you brought about her kicking the door in, I thought it was apropos being, she is the face of feminism. That's what they do. That's what
And
they
they're
want to
forcing
do. Kick
yeah,
down the door,
and
force
force
their
their
way
way
in.
in
I am woman and I am strong.
and then try to sweet talk you and take your stuff.
Yeah.
And
Yeah,
that's
because
that's
you don't
that's
want to give it to them.
and that's what I'm saying. It was female game simplified. I mean, that's
Yeah,
literally that's the whole thing. Kick
yeah,
the door into someplace you don't belong, walk in without being invited, then try to use emotion to manipulate your reason for being there and how they can help you. When the truth
right,
of the matter is they're trying to take your stuff.
right.
It doesn't get explained any simpler than that 3 minute scene.
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah,
it just doesn't.
yeah.
That's in a nutshell.
Yeah, especially too whenever she explains about the power move to try and get this interview and making him
Mhm.
wait,
Yep.
and it
Yep.
being late for it, making him wait to where he's
Yep.
begging her for the interview and everything.
And that's why I
And
said that scene is feminism simplified, and
and
what we saw in the apartment is feminism actualized.
and it's also telling too, and how we're seeing his character, well, both characters of him, because Superman Clark Kent is a very compartmentalized individual.
Mm-hmm.
When you look into it, he's got at least 4 different identities or sides. I know nobody really talks about or thinks about it. This is why, in the Kill Bill analogy that David Carradine had of the character, for me, it's all wrong.
Oh yeah, I agree. Yeah, I absolutely agree. Yeah, I absolutely agree with
Because
that.
you got four different compartmentalized personas here. You got the Clark Kent that you see in Metropolis.
Mm-hmm.
You've got
Yep.
Kal-El, which is the last son of Krypton. You got Superman, who is Earth's hero and represents everything that humanity should strive to be.
Mm-hmm.
And then you got the fourth one, Clark Kent of Smallville,
Yep.
which is very different from Clark Kent in Metropolis.
Mm-hmm. I would dare say I would dare and I'd debate on it, but I would dare say that the Clark Kent of Smallville is the real one.
Yes, that's his grassroots beginning. That's the original. That's his original form or his original state. But it's a side of him that he has to hide, to not show or expose any weaknesses.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
It's a side of him that he hides from everyone. And I forgot which movie it was I saw where Martian Manhunter, when he went back to Smallville with him, and he states to him, this is a side of you that I've never seen before.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And how different, that side of him is.
Yeah, because in the entire history of the character, if I'm correct, outside of his immediate family, other than Martian Manhunter,
Lois,
Diana, and I'm talking about heroes.
okay.
Martian Manhunter, Diana, and Bruce. They're the only ones who've ever been there.
Yeah.
They're the only ones who've ever
Yeah.
been there, and that's and that's what I'm saying. To me, out of all the ones that you named, the truest aspect, the more realistic aspect, the closer to who he truly is, I think it's Clark from Smallville. That's me.
I would
personally.
agree. I would agree because that's his beginnings. Because he has to grow into learning who Kal-El of Krypton is, because he doesn't have this knowledge. He has no one to show him of it. It's something that he has to learn, and once he's able to access all this information that was left behind, this Bajirel for him, is who, you know, he learns who that side is and who you see whenever he's fighting, whenever his struggles with Zod. Yeah. And also other adaptations and storylines that they've had when he's actually been to Krypton. So
yeah, exactly. That's why when it comes to comics, the comics don't sell as good as they used to, because they focus more on, you know, writers will say, well, I don't want to write Superman because he's too hard, he's got too many powers, you know, there's nobody to create the fight against him. But you missed the whole point. Superman has never been about his powers. It's
that's never been the focal. It should never be the focal point of him.
Exactly. Because that's why we have the dichotomies of him and Bruce. Superman is the mask, but for Bruce is the mask. Batman's the real one.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? And people.
Yeah, Bruce died the day his parents died in that alley.
Exactly. So Bruce Wayne is just the mask he uses to get the job done, but Batman is the real person.
Yes.
While on the flip side, it works in the opposite. Superman's the mask.
But I wouldn't say it's a mask. I wouldn't say Superman is a mask. It's just that everyone thinks that he has a mask, but it's not. It's just there's 4 faces of Clark.
True. But each one at the end of the day is a mask he puts on to portray a persona for a specific type of people.
I don't think he's portraying a persona. I think it's more the.
So you just think it's a different aspect of his personality.
It's a different aspect of his personality, and it's also he has to separate himself from people to protect himself as well. It's not a mask. It's an onion. So there's only certain layers he lets people into. And at the core of it, of course, is like we stated, you know, the Smallville side of Clark Kent.
Yeah. Yeah, I can see that. Like I said, at the bottom line, I still think Clark of Smallville is the real person.
Exactly. I mean, that's his core.
That's the core. Yeah, there's no question.
That's his core. The others are real too, but it's just that's his core that he doesn't allow. There's been very few individuals that he's actually let see that.
Well, yeah, that's definitely true. That's definitely. Well, I mean, I just acknowledge that with Diana, Sean, and Bruce. Yeah, and Lois, of course.
Yeah.
Okay. So I'm sorry. So what's the next cut?
I believe that's when we fast forward to that's when they come up with the plan, and it's to make this power plant. This is going to be it's away from the main city. Lex has found a way to cut the power off everywhere in the city to funnel it back to the power plant to be a, you know, pretty much a lighthouse to draw Parasite to it. But being, you know, he's feeding off energy. And we find he comes and he's huge because he's just been engorging himself on everything. He's got an insatiable hunger for power. And he's huge because he's been feasting on it. And you can tell that the more he feasts, the more he changes. His physical appearance changes as well.
Mm-hmm.
And so Lex has taken this ring. Well, no, he hasn't taken the ring yet. The fight ensues, and Lobo, you know, he calls his flying bike to come, and he starts punching him, and it has no effect. So Lex realizes that there is a time limit on the energy that he's absorbed from individuals. Or I think it's not so much a time limit. If he doesn't absorb until death, you know, it's not there's a limit on it. Mm-hmm. But if he absorbs every aspect of the essence, you know, he keeps it. So therefore the strength has worn off that he had gotten from Kal-El, as well as the weaknesses. So it's not having any effect. So like in true Superman fashion, he says, well, I'm going to give him something to be weak. And so, you know, he allows him to absorb him, and Lobo starts fighting him, and he what happens? Oh no, before that, no, it's before that happens when he realized he pretty much Lobo has some he goes into battle with a with a bomb strapped to him. You know, he goes in pretty much like a Muslim. For better terms speaking, you know, he's got these bombs strapped to him and he blows himself up. And two, no effect. It only just provides more energy for Parasite to feed off of. And Lex finds his hand with the ring on it, pulls it off, and uses it in his gun. And he says, you know, I've got this right here to beat both of you with. He said, I could either, he said, which one of you is more dangerous? The parasite that's feeding off everything and will destroy everything, or you, who's posing as one of us, who's posing as a human who really isn't. What's good, Yori? And so he shoots Parasite with it. Parasite goes down, and then he shoots Superman too. And he starts his attack, and that's when out of nowhere Martian Manhunter pops out to defend him, to heal from himself from, you know, the fight. He's been laying low, and so he pretty much apprehends Lex, and of course Parasite, you know, he's going to revive from that shot from the kryptonite gun that he's made using that ring, and he starts wreaking havoc. Matter of fact, the bridge that's out there is, you know, all kind of people are, you know, they've been trying to get out, but it's backed up. Wrecks have happened. So he notices this chaos, Parasite does, and he goes there. And what was it? Oh, I remember Lex is trying. So Lex has gotten away in this little scuffle here. And Martian Manhunter goes after him, and he tells Clark, you know, he's got to stop him. He's got to find a way to get through to him. He says something about his strength as well as his weaknesses. It makes him think about if he's absorbed his heart too. He's absorbed every part of him. And I forgot we forgot to think about the fact that when he went home, when his character went home to see his family, and you know, he pretty much scared his little girl because of the form he's taking on now. And but so, you know, this a part of that character is still a part of that individual is still in there, even though it's, you know, the individual, even though for the most part the individual is dead. But so he starts making towards the bridge, and Clark, you know, of course, goes to stop him. You got anything here?
Just first of all, love the post gun. Love the post gun.
Yeah.
Because you know me when it comes to villains. Lex is one of my boys.
Gotcha.
Lex is one of my boys. It's always a good day. I will say this about the Lex character. It's interesting because you look at the animated design of him. It looks like they were trying to make him look more like Michael Rosenbaum's version of Lex Luthor from Smallville. Because in all the other animated versions, he's usually broader, a bit more husky, or whatever.
His shoulders usually are broader.
Yeah, but this one, it looked like Michael Rosenbaum's version from Smallville, which I enjoyed. I actually did. I like the artistic choice they went with this one. As a matter of fact, with the artistic choice, I could see a little bit of design style from Darwin Cook from the Justice League animated movie, Final Frontier, or something like that.
Oh, okay. That went back to the Golden Age, didn't it?
Silver. That was based on the Silver. Yeah, that was based on the Silver Age.
It had that, to me. It kind of had that Golden Age kind of look to it to me.
He did have that style. But the characters that were used were Silver Age.
Okay.
Well, he started it off. He did talk about some Golden Age characters in the first 10-15 minutes, but the bulk of the movie was Silver Age. That's how you got Adam Strange and Martian Manhunter and all of them in there. Metamorpho, that was all Silver Age. But like I said, I did like the character design. It reminded me a little bit of Darwin Cook. But it's like I said, Lex Luthor, that pulse rifle, I want one. That's all I'm saying. But Lex Luthor kept true to form. No question. No question to it. No question to it. Especially when he was deciding on which one to shoot, Superman or Parasite, and he said, "Oh, what the hell? I'll make you both my slaves." I was like,
Yes.
"Well, that's Lex." I was like, "Okay, that's Lex." Um, but as far as the scenes are concerned, with the thing about absorbing Superman's memories and all that good stuff, and you've absorbed my heart. It's interesting because, like you said earlier, the scene we missed when he went back home to see his family. Um, even being that kind of a monster, even if you don't have memories, emotionally, he was still following his train of thought,
Yeah.
which is my family, protect my family, see my family, get back to my family, etc. Even if he had no reason to understand why,
Right.
because by then he had lost the ability to speak, so he couldn't say nothing to the daughter. And that's why that scene when Clark was telling him about emotions and memories and reminding him of who he is, he did that moment where he froze in that scene and looked at that mother and daughter who reminded him of his family on the
I
bridge.
thought that was him. No, that was
No, no,
them.
no, it wasn't.
On the bridge?
No, it wasn't them.
You sure? I
It
thought
was.
that little girl was there. Because
I
I
gotta
thought they
be.
were trying to get out of the city.
No, because when I watched it with my family, I thought the exact same thing, and they had me rewind it back, and then I realized it's not. That it's not his
Okay.
family. It's not his family at all. I thought the exact same thing you did. I was like, what are they doing on the bridge? You know what I'm saying? I
Yeah, I thought
mean,
they were trying
you
to
know,
get out, and I thought it was them.
yeah. No, if you rewind it back and you look at it and you freeze the scene and you'll notice the mother's not pregnant like his wife is. That's number one. Number two, if you look at them, even though the art might seem similar, um, people on the bridge are not the same
Oh.
cultural style as
Yeah,
his
she's
family.
not pregnant. You're right. You're right.
Yeah. So yeah. But like I said, I did the exact same thing, dude. I did the
Yeah.
exact same thing.
Yeah.
I had to back it up like once or twice to freeze it to look at it real good. I was like,
Yeah.
oh no, that's not his family. And the kids are
Right.
looking at me like, we told you.
Yeah.
But no, it wasn't just you. Because like I said, that's the first thing that went through my mind. What the hell are they doing on the bridge? That made no sense to me. Until I
Well,
realized that it wasn't them.
well, it made sense to me because I realized that everyone's trying to get out of the city. People think there's somewhere to run to.
Well, yeah, probably. Yeah, that's probably
Yeah.
what I was thinking,
Yeah.
which is why my brain automatically went to them. And then when his
Yeah.
eyes locked on him, I'm like, okay, it's definitely them. Until I
Right.
started doing the freezing scene and the overlapping of the visuals that they did between his family and the ones that got out of the car on the bridge, it's like, nah, they're not the same.
Right. Right. You're right. They weren't. And this scene here whenever they're whenever he's talking to him, and you hear him, the people they say, they're saying all kind of stuff, and Superman turns to tell him to stop, that this guy is the alien, I am, and that
Yeah, yeah.
this man has a family and a child, and he's a victim
Well, when he,
of he's a victim of an attack, and this is what it turned him into.
yeah. Well, I mean, when he looked at him and told him point blank, "I'm the alien," he's not. He's one of you.
Yeah.
I was like, and you could see the shock on their faces when they showed the scene on the bridge again.
Mm-hmm.
And they paused at least long enough to hear him. But when he started moving again, they went right back to the same
Yeah,
scenario they originally went and started
because
doing
he was
Molotov
moving,
cocktails. So,
because when he saw that woman and her child, he immediately correlated that with his wife and daughter.
hmm
And so they started throwing the Molotov cocktails, and that represented basically regular society.
yep,
How they have fear runs them. There is no rational thought. They just react to everything without actually thinking about the cause of those actions that they take. What's going on, Smooth?
Yo, what's good, man?
Man,
stay smooth.
we right here near the end of the movie.
I know, man. I just completed the movie, bro.
Oh, okay,
I
okay,
had to
gotcha.
find the right site, and when shit is streaming and it's
I
taking
got you.
forever.
I got
Yeah,
you.
man.
But
So, what? I guess this is redundant, but what did y'all think?
Like I said, Lawrence, he rated it a 6. I gave it at least a 7. And right now we're kind of going into the end part, at the bridge, where Superman told everyone that he's the alien, not not
the
the actual
alien
person.
and not
Right.
the dude.
Yeah. He's a victim of the attack. Lawrence, being I spoke, you got anything further to say off what I just said?
As far as it goes for the bridge?
Yes.
No. Don't need. As far as that's concerned, I mean that followed the story beats perfectly. I expected nothing else. Because that's an aspect of Superman's character. He's always going to try and go to the point of reasoning with you first before having to take that it farther than what it is.
And it was working for a while.
It was, it definitely was. Like I said, until he took a step and they assumed he's going to attack again, and they start throwing Molotov cocktails. Which, by the way, you got to ask yourself, who drives around with Molotov cocktails ready in that car?
And not only that, that's not the question. The question to me is, damn, you got a dude that's flying and can lift rockets, and he beating the hell out of him. What the hell you gonna do?
Exactly.
Well, that's like the security guards. That's like the security guards at Star Labs. He already took out Lobo. What you think you were going to do with a gun?
I think the funny thing was, no, he didn't take out Lobo.
Well, no, I'm not the Lobo, but the cell he was in.
Yeah, he opened it. Yeah, he knocked down the door.
Yeah, you kicked the door in and you sucked up the energy from an entire power.
No, he hadn't done that yet.
Oh, okay.
No, he hadn't done that yet. He did kick in the door, but he hadn't sucked out the energy, but he had kicked in the door. My thing was, doggone it, they shot the hell out of him in that scene, and then he went to the ground and got back up and turned on him. Then they couldn't hit him with a single shot after that. I'm like, what the hell? And then the other security guard, while he draining the life out of him, he don't even take a shot. I'm like, what the heck?
Yeah.
Well, he couldn't take a shot anymore after that because
how come he couldn't? Man, while he holding him, I'm shooting.
Yeah, but that's not gonna help, as you could see.
It would have. It would have gave me some time to get away.
There was only one option: run.
Exactly. Man, look. And that's what he did.
No, he didn't. He didn't run. He tried. He let him feast off his partner, and then stood there froze. No, man, doggone.
Yeah, but then at one point he ran away. He did try to run.
He did. Halfway through Parasite feeding on his partner, he turned and
he was done feeding.
No. He was still holding him, and you can see in the background while he's holding him, you can see
he dropped the gun.
Security guard. He started. No, he had the gun. He just ran, and then
someone had started. Then he started running.
No, he
didn't drop the gun, bro.
I thought he didn't drop the gun.
No.
He dropped the gun as far as he wasn't aiming it anymore. You understand?
Oh yeah, he didn't give up.
And then he ran away.
And then
he tried to run away.
Well, he did ran, and for some reason he got a certain distance, and then he stopped to turn around, and then that's when Parasite grabbed him.
So did. But yeah, it was that scene right there was funny too. But when that happened, he hadn't feasted on that energy yet, that it's containment cell that Lobo was in whenever they first shot him. But anyways, so they throw the Molotov cocktails, and then Lex is there apprehended by Martian Manhunter, and he said, and you hear something start going off, and he's like, should have let me turn the reactor off. It's about to melt down and blow up.
Yeah, and then and there's something else about that bridge, now that I remember it, that bridge scene.
Okay.
Right before the bridge scene, they showed a scene inside the Daily Planet where Lois came up and she grabbed Ron's phone and turned it off, and then convinced him to leave to go to the bridge. Then when they're on the bridge, Ron is the only one with a phone, and for some reason they have Ron, who's already a reporter, and Lois, who's just somebody who just got there and still an undergrad, telling him what to do, and he's filming Lois reporting on the story.
Yeah.
And I'm like, okay, so I'm lost. What the hell is that about? Because if he,
Well, she wasn't an undergrad.
what?
She was a graduate student or had already graduated or
Well,
something.
either way, she just got there.
She
Ron
just
has,
got hired.
yeah, she was new. Ron
Yeah,
had been
that's
there
true.
for a while already. So who is she to be giving him orders on how to use his phone? She's the one who gets the story by being the one who's recorded. He went from being a
Watch
senior
this.
reporter to being a cameraman.
Watch this.
That was straight up feminism right out the gate.
Watch this. It goes to show the cookery of black men in America.
Yeah, it does. Yeah, it does.
Bowing the knee to that woman. Yeah. That's
Yep.
what it was. And you know, the other thing, she's there filming that whenever I think she pulls out her phone, as a matter of fact, whenever he made that whole statement about him being an alien and the parasite actually being a victim and him having a family. And because they had that conversation there for a while.
She did. Because she had Ron use his phone to film her, and then when Clark started talking about him being an alien,
she filmed him.
Yeah. Yep, she pulled out her own phone. Sure did.
Yeah, and it was so that was interesting there. And whenever that that reactor for the power plant is it's basically gonna melt down and blow, and Clark had affected him, to the point where he thought about his family. And he's already weakened from this fight, and he tries to go, and he's so weakened, and he can't make it in time, even though he's trying everything. And Percy's the only one left that can actually do anything about it. So he goes to take on this energy, and he tries to basically, devour, and it ends up being, you see that it's more than he can take. But he takes in enough to where, only thing it does is pretty much it turns him into, looks like some type of stone or something like that, some type of material, but it leads you to think that it kills him.
Yeah.
Come on up. I emailed you the link. Hey, gone. But it's I think it went to show how Superman touched the humanity in him, to think about pretty much sacrificing what he had left of himself for his family. What were your thoughts here, Lawrence?
Well, I liked it because it left it open ended. Because you can make an assumption either way. You can make an assumption that Superman appealed to his emotional aspect and he went to save everybody, or you can say that he was so gone in the head that all he cared about was feeding, so he went straight to the source. And I like that with stories because it leaves it open ended for whoever's watching it to make their own decision, which allows the opportunity for what we're having now, discussion on it.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So I like when they do that. I think that's pretty cool.
Yeah, I do too.
But I'd like to believe the humanity in him. Because he remembered who he is, as he said in the beginning when he first met Clark. I did 2 tours in Iraq, protecting people, helping people, yada yada yada.
Yes.
So I'd like to believe that. But
he went back to that basic nature.
Exactly. But at the same time, I can also offer an open debate that by then he was just too far gone. He just went to go get food.
Exactly.
Smooth,
your thoughts?
I believe it was the humanity in him, because you remember when he was walking towards the bridge and he saw that woman and the child, and that reminded him of his wife and his daughter. So he was already to that point where he was a little more human than he was a parasite and stuff. And then that speech with Superman and all of that stuff. So I feel like him seeing that reacting stuff, he kind of knew that if that shit blows off, then my family may be affected by this shit.
Yeah.
Fuck the people on the bridge.
Yeah. And that's what I'm saying. I prefer to believe the same thing you do, that it was the humanity in him, if for no other reason to save his family, at the very least. At the very least.
Yeah, I agree. And I think also,
another reason why I think it's the humanity in him as well is because he saw, when Superman was like, stop, and he still absorbed his energy, and Superman had to fall to the ground and shit. Right?
Mhm.
Yeah, when he fell in the ocean. Yeah.
He fell on the ground on the bridge. Then he tried to stop the reactor thing. So he was, I'm guessing, I don't know. In his mind, he was thinking that, yo, this motherfucker is an alien / outcast, just like I am right now, and he's still willing to go this far. You know what I'm saying? So I might as well go ahead and eat up what I can eat up that reactor. You know?
Yeah, I like that. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, there was another
that's pretty
aspect
cool.
to it too.
Yeah, that was pretty cool. That's a good perception on that.
Yeah, it was. It was. Yeah, that was another dimension of it too. I really didn't even think about it, to be honest. But I think also too, when you get forward there and it open ended, in you have that cutscene there with Lobo and Martian Manhunter and Superman, and they're talking, and he's told them about each being the last of their own respective kind, and he tells them, man, me saying that's just a whole bunch of bullshit. I always say that to kind of drive the price up on the bounty. Boy, I was dying laughing.
Yeah.
And him telling them, well, before he says that, him saying that, yeah, I guess the difference is, I just killed all mine though. And then they kind of look, and he's like, man, I'm just bullshitting y'all.
He lied though. Because in his origin story, that's exactly what he did. As a 5-year-old, he killed everybody on his planet.
Oh wow!
Oh shit, for real?
Wow. Yeah, I didn't know that.
So it wasn't a joke.
No. I mean, he's telling.
Well, it wasn't before in the other origin.
Yeah,
we don't know what he's gonna have now.
Yeah. In this new animated series, it might be different. But his original origin story, he was a toddler. He killed everybody on his planet. He's the last one.
Did not know that.
So who sent Lobo, given that he's a bounty hunter and stuff? Like, who's the one that sent him?
Well, we talked about that earlier. They never said, but the fact that he had a kryptonite ring, and like I said, Lobo's smart, but he ain't that level smart. And the fact that he made a comment about Sector 2814, which is generally the way Green Lanterns talk about space areas of space. Quadrants. Yeah,
maybe what's Sinestro?
I was thinking Guardians of the Universe, but Sinestro is a good call too. Sinestro. Yeah, Sinestro is definitely a good call.
Yeah, that'd be a good call. Yeah.
Or what about Zod? Maybe it was Zod somewhere.
Well, see, that's what I was about to come to, because
that made me think of that too.
Because at the end, when he said that there's more Kryptonians out there, the first thing I thought of was two: Zod and Supergirl.
Well, the first thing I thought of was Zod.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, Zod would be the one more likely than her.
What'd you say, Smooth?
I said, Zod had like two sidekicks, a female and a male.
Yeah,
Faora, his wife.
Yeah, Faora, his wife, and I can't remember the name of the other dude.
I'll tell you somebody else that it made me think of too.
Who?
Brainiac.
But Brainiac's not Kryptonian.
He's not.
So how would he get his hands on kryptonite?
But here's the thing: it could be Brainiac, because Brainiac actually has one of the bottled cities of Krypton that he took.
Not one of
Kandor.
Yes. Brainiac collects. He collects the pivotal technological city of a planet, if it's worth doing. If it's not worth doing, he doesn't even bother with the planet.
Exactly. And the capital and the most technological aspect of Krypton was
Kandor.
Kandor, and that's what he took. Lobo's. I mean, in this scenario, you got Kandor, you got Supergirl, who's out there from Argo City, and then you got Zod and Zod's in the Phantom Zone. At least in the original story, he's in the Phantom Zone.
Yeah, he was.
So that's at least three aspects you can go on in the next movie if you wanted to go that route.
Right.
So there's now the Martian Manhunter is a little tricky, because it depends on what time in history you want to go with it. If you want to go in the original Silver Age, then yeah, there's a whole bunch of Martians left. Absolutely. If you want to go with modern day retellings, he's the only one left.
Yeah.
Well, at
Except
least
for
let me rephrase that.
two.
Let me rephrase that. He's the only green Martian left. There are white Martians who are still alive.
Yeah, because you have the one that later joins with the Teen Titans.
Miss Martian.
Yeah, yes.
Yeah. You're talking about Miss Martian. He adopted her.
I can't think what her name is. What? Oh God.
Megan.
Yes.
Megan.
Yes. Yeah.
Wait, that was the Martian from
Magan,
Justice League, right?
Yeah. But she's not really a green Martian like Jean is. She's a white Martian.
White. Magan is a white Martian. Yes.
Yeah.
Damn.
Yeah.
But she said because the white Martians and green Martians always fought each other. The white Martians were exceptionally violent people, and they believed in conquering.
Yes.
So she's a white Martian for sure. But yeah, so as far as it goes for Martians, Jean could still be the last of the green, but Lobo could have been talking about white ones out there. So
yeah, never know. And then and then he bullshit so much that he could just be lying again.
Yes, true. It is Lobo. So
hey, Gon, I emailed you the link.
Hey,
I emailed it not too long ago.
What's up with the Lobos being so superhuman, like an actual biker and all that stuff?
Well, actually, he's immortal.
I thought he was immortal.
No, immortal is different than amortal. Amortal, you pretty much can't die through means of aging. Well, no, he is immortal.
Yeah, because the dude blew up, man.
Well, I forgot. Well, he's immortal to this. No, he's amortal. Oh gosh, I'm trying to get the terminology right because he still has a weakness. Like there's no. I'm not sure what it is because I mean, like essentially, like Darkseid, the only weakness he has is radon. So it takes radon to actually kill him. And so. Does he actually have a weakness that can kill him, Lawrence?
Who?
Lobo? Yeah.
It depends on
I'm guessing he does because there's no way they're going to make him more powerful.
It depends on which variation that you use, but for the most part, even the stuff that could kill him generally only did it for a limited amount of time. Yeah. He always came back.
Okay. Because I guess my thing is there's no way they're going to make him more powerful than Darkseid, though.
Oh no, he's definitely not more powerful than Darkseid. No, sir.
That's what I'm saying.
Real
because
quick.
I mean, even he can actually die.
Yeah. And I know Lobo can too. It's just that whatever it is, he does die. Just somehow he always finds a way to come back. So, but Aegon, real quick, I emailed you again just now the link. So if you can't find it, it should pop in your email right now. Okay. I'm sorry. I just wanted to let him know that.
Yeah. Hey, hold on. Okay. Hey, Aegon, in the chat, type 1 if you can't get to your email to get it. Okay, he said okay, so we'll see here.
Aegon can't even access his email.
I don't know. He said we're gonna see here in a minute. But yeah,
he might be on the road or something. I don't know.
Yeah, that's what I was asking. But yeah, I thought that was pretty. It was pretty interesting there that little cut scene between the three of them in that dialogue, and I thought the next part was pretty telling too when Lois ran up all those flight of stairs to do her interview with Superman, and historically he's been written as a cuck for her. He eventually caves and does whatever. But I think that also that that it's interesting that here they chose to actually make him, play a game with her. And he told her when she come, he told her, "No, I got things I got to do, so we'll have to reschedule on that interview." So what she said earlier about playing that power move with him, it came back to bite her in the butt. What's going on, Agon?
What's up, y'all? What's
That's
up, man?
good. That's good.
My man, I was out on the road all day, man. I was like, I know I'm missing something. Then I
Oh.
saw, I was thinking about. I watched Justice League Dark last night, and I thought about it. And I was like, oh snap, man! Tomorrow review.
Man, hey, I sent you an email early and everything. I'm telling you, boy, my YouTube friends ain't worth a damn, man. I tell you.
Wow.
Before we go further, thanks to Nu for the cash app. I appreciate it, brother.
Oh yeah, let me get on this.
But yeah, we done gone all the way through the movie. What you got to add, man?
This is the start of like a new universe after the New 52, right?
That's my impression.
I think that's it.
I really enjoy the opening to it because it seems like it's an already established world, and they still have the characters and the same type of archetypes, been doing it in different ways. Because I heard just overheard Lawrence talking about Superman. Well, I think it was you, Eisen, who said basically like Superman is normally a cuck, and now it seems like his mindset is more open to basically like kind of looking at Lois like she could be a problem somewhat, like, or basically like, I'm not going to kowtow to her because I've never liked Lois Lane, but I liked her as a character. You guys get what I'm saying?
Yeah. No, I get it.
No.
I get it.
I don't.
Like this, like you ever watch The Wire, Smooth?
Of course.
I don't like Marlo, but he a hot ass character. He's needed.
Okay.
Yeah.
Why do you feel like Marlo was needed though? Because somebody had to take over after Bartell?
Well, he was such a, because that's the way you get into power, and he showed us the rise of power of somebody that's vicious.
Oh,
like he's like an unchained dog, and I didn't like that he was destroying the old regime, but it was a beautiful character. Like I was like, dang, I want to see Barksdale, but that's like what I personally want. But this is how the real world works. You know what I'm saying? Like that's how they come through.
So how does that relate to Lois?
She's always been
Lois makes power moves, right?
She always been a feminist. She's always been a feminist, and treating Superman the way, like, I mean, treating Clark like he's lower than her, just because everybody's useful to her, and but that's great for the storyline, and basically showing how women will treat you when they think you're less than. Just a thought, She doesn't even analyze that Clark could be Superman or whatnot. She's just all about herself, and I love that how open she is about that.
Well, you're so late. You missed it earlier, but one of the things I pointed out to was, you remember that dialogue scene that they had in the copy room
when he first talked to her, when she
and I stated in here, I said that the whole thing about when him questioning how she put him on the defensive, and she basically shows her feminist agenda of destroying powerful men for her own ego and to rise her stock as a reporter, but not for the purpose of exposing corrupt individuals.
It's for herself.
Yes, and also, her goal is to do the same to him and the Batman, who haven't shown themselves to be corrupt, but because feminism, only thing it cares about is just destroying powerful men to become powerful themselves.
And win a Pulitzer Prize.
Yep, because Lex Luthor greeted her with familiarity and like friendship, like, hey, one of our top graduate students, and she basically just pulled the rug out underneath him.
And that's another aspect of what Eisen's talking about. Because think about this, she had dinner with him and recorded him without him knowing. When he said he's only taking one question from one reporter, I'm only taking questions from one reporter. He literally called out Lois and immediately stated that she's a graduate of some kind of sponsorship or scholarship that his company provided. So there you go, right there. You come in, you take somebody's fucking money, and then you turn on them. You see what I'm saying? I mean, dead ass. This is the dude. This is the dude who paid for her to get as far as she got to become what she is.
Yeah.
Exactly. And now you want all his shit. So what do? You secretly record him. You like I said earlier when we talked about it. That was a perfect reference to hashtag Me Too.
Yeah.
Yep.
And you know the thing is that the instance of doing it because how corrupt he is. Okay. But then after that, just to
why'd you take his money though?
Yeah, well, I mean, not only that, but
I don't even think it was for money. I don't even think it was for money.
But it was to get what she wanted.
Yeah, but I don't think that was money because
it wasn't solely about the money, but yeah. But after taking down him, now her sights are set on Batman and Superman simply because they're powerful men. They're not corrupt like he is, but they're powerful men. And she aims to take them down to make a name for herself, to be viewed as powerful.
Well, remember what I said in the beginning when we first started talking. I thought it was a very strange scene from Jump Street because here we have a woman who literally secretly recorded somebody who helped her, wants to state that he's corrupted. But yet at the same time, she didn't make it a point to notify the authorities to keep that rocket from launching, even though she has the recording that he said it could blow up. So it was never about doing the right thing. It was about her getting ahead.
Exactly.
It was about her getting ahead.
Exactly. But now, she notified.
Look at what she did to Clark when he was sick, when he was in bed. She tried to steal his damn story.
Yeah, we talked about that too. Yeah, we talked about that too. Yeah, we talked about that.
She kicked the door in when he didn't answer. She kicked the door in, just barged in. And
because we both said earlier, because like I said, the first thing for me was that she kicked the door in. If I go to visit somebody and they don't answer, I leave a note on the door. I turn around and walk away. I don't kick the fucking door in.
Exactly. They try to show that feminism, female power shit.
Yeah,
she was even wearing that fucking beanie hat like a fucking feminist.
But see,
that's right. I forgot about that until you mentioned it.
Yeah, she was. But here's the point about kicking the door and what that represents feminine wise. Here we have a man in his natural state, in his personal space. The whole point of feminism is that I can come in and take your shit whenever I want to. I'm just going to kick the door down. I'm going to come in, then I'm going to sit there. I'm going to pretend I'm your friend and I'm here to help you while secretly manipulating you into giving me my shit, which was his story. And then when that didn't work, she tried to backtrack by saying as he was pushing her out the door, we can share the byline. And like I said earlier, how can you share shit that ain't yours?
Right.
Yeah.
You know.
After she got caught, she went stupid with them dumbass excuses like that will make any sense. The good thing is that I think Clark is not as much of a cuck as he is in all the other Superman movies and animated series and stuff, man. He's a little more aware, but I think that's also because he's kind of new to the city.
What's interesting is that looking at the way he dealt with her in that scene, and definitely afterwards at the end when he pushed her off with the interview, that's more the that's more the Superman I knew growing up reading comics from the 50s, 60s, and 70s, because that's how he treated her. She was just not that fucking important. Seriously, dead ass.
He did treat her like a side chick, and that's why she liked him so much.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas with in my era, that wall came down. He didn't treat her like that as much.
No, you grew up with the Lois and Clark shit.
Well, not only that, but by the time you got to think too, the Bronze Age one, they softened him up. I actually grew up with the Superman animated series. I do remember looking at George Reeves one too. They kind of cucked him a little bit there too. They definitely did it with Christopher Reeves. Which God, I never got it. Golly, I never got it because Margot Kidder is ugly as shit. Golly, I'm sorry, I just never got it. She was ugly as hell and she smoked. It was nothing about her that was appealing to me to want to cuck for her. I don't know if anybody. I don't know if you thought like that, Lawrence. Smooth or Aegon, but I swear I never understood that one.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know what to say because for me, okay, here's the thing.
Ew. Yeah, I'm looking at her now. Hell no.
The time frame. Well, here's the funny part. If you go back a little further, she didn't look like that. But the thing is that the time frame I grew up, I'm not sure if I can be fair in giving an assessment like that because when I was growing up, the whole thing was the excitement just that you saw a black dude with a white chick. Because you got to remember,
A black dude.
Oh, dude, her and Richard Pryor were together for a long time.
Oh God. I just
Damn.
I can't do
You didn't know
it
that?
because I can't do it because here
Okay,
you got
okay. For real. Y'all making me feel old as hell.
Hold on, Lawrence. Now hold on, Lawrence. Watch this. Dog on that. Rick James and old girl from The Exorcist. She looked way better than her.
No. He wasn't with her. You're thinking about Tina Marie, the singer.
No, I'm talking Rick James and the chick from The Exorcist. Yes. What's her name?
I remember Tina Marie because they were doing that song
Linda
together.
But
Linda
James
Blake.
with her too.
Linda Blake.
Yes.
Yeah, Linda Blair. Okay.
Linda Blair.
Yeah, Linda Blair.
Yeah. Huh? Rick James had a little something going on. Yes, sir. Yeah.
Because like I said, I know about Tina Marie. Him and Tina Marie was crazy.
But doggone that though. I mean, she ain't doing that with a black man. The black man ain't Superman, he white man. I don't get it because I mean, when you go, which one was it? Was it 2? Whenever they had it, or was it 3 when they had it where Lana Lang came in and Annette O'Toole played her? She looked better than Margot Kidder.
Actually, she still did because that's the one.
Still did. She still does. She looked better than Margot Kidder right now than Margot Kidder did in the 80s.
Well, you got to remember, Annette O'Toole played Lana Lang in the Christopher Reeves movies.
That's what I'm talking about. Yes.
But she ended up playing Martha Kent in Smallville.
Yeah, she did.
That's the same woman. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but I don't know.
What is the difference? What's the difference between Lois and Lana Lang? Is it just the same person? I never really understood that.
Yeah, me either.
What? Okay, one he grew up with, the other one he met when he started working in Metropolis. Done.
Because
no, Lane, Lane, and Lana is Lang, Lang.
Oh, but I only know Lana from. I only remember Lana from Smallville.
Yeah, that was his first girlfriend.
Okay. But
her name was Lana Lang. Oh,
right, yeah. Now, in the early comics, she was when they introduced the concept of doing Superman as a kid, Superboy. Mm-hmm. They introduced Lana Lang to be Smallville's version of Lois. So she was always trying to find out who he was, who Superboy really was, yada yada yada. She really didn't date Clark because she had a crush on Superboy. Same way Lois didn't pay attention to Clark because she was into Superman. But that's pretty much it. The characters are damn near interchangeable except for the hair color.
That is very true.
That, and I guess with my later versions of her, she wasn't quite that kick your door in feminism that Lois was either.
No, she wasn't. She wasn't.
I think that's the biggest difference to me.
Yeah. No matter what they did with Lana, they pretty much played Lana as the small town girl, good values, yada yada yada. Yeah.
City aspirations.
No, not at all. As a matter of fact, she stayed behind in Smallville.
Yeah.
Oh, damn, because that's how.
Yeah.
That was
the TV show. In the TV show, they changed it.
In the TV show was like that, but in the comics, she stayed behind in Smallville.
Yo, what's up, Soul?
Yeah, what's going on, Soul?
Hey, what's going on?
Soul, you guys.
Man, what I missed? Where are we?
Well, we've done a rundown of the movie, but yeah, I know you said. I know you were doing yours at the same time, so it kind of this kind of had.
Yeah, I had to. Actually, I had to move my African panel to another day. So.
Oh wow.
We didn't get to do it. But did you give it a score yet?
Yeah, I gave it a 7. Lawrence gave it a 6. I haven't got to hear from Smooth and Aegon yet.
I give it a 6.
I got more to say about it, but I want to wait.
Go ahead.
If the Soul gives it, because Soul just came.
Okay, yeah. So, so pro side would say that I did like seeing Kent. I like the flashback they did in the beginning of the film. I think that was a pretty good way to start the movie. I like that he's not too confident in this film. Like he's still trying to learn his powers and try to figure himself out. It gets kind of repetitive to see Superman always knowing exactly, his power set in every other film.
Yes.
So that's the thing I don't like. So this is different. So I appreciate that. Lobos, I had to give it to Lobos. He's like the main guy of this film. I've never seen him fight before in combat, so this was
really?
First time. Yeah, this is my first time seeing him actually fight. And I've seen most of the DC movies, so I don't know how I missed this one. But to see him fight Superman with, like, you saw the strength, you saw him beat his ass and all that shit. I didn't even know he was immortal. I didn't know that shit. I didn't know. I knew that he had his motorcycle and he was talking shit all the time. But he's like the main guy of this film. If you take him out, I think this film is weakened completely.
I would agree. I would agree.
So I'll put him at my number one for character of the whole film. Number one.
Okay. Makes sense.
Second, I would put Superman. Like I said, I like how he's not too perfect in this film because he's always perfect in every other film. So I like it. Third, Lex Luthor, I think, was kind of on the weak side. I could do without him in this film. I mean, he is a big part of the Superman, there's the whole brand and all that. Yeah. He's in a lot of films. So I get it. But in this one, he's just kind of weak. But I didn't really care.
He's weak?
Because he didn't really do anything. He did everything expected. Everything he did was expected of him to do. Like, you didn't do anything out of the ordinary.
He didn't surprise you.
Yeah, he didn't surprise me at all. I'm like, okay, that's what he usually does.
Actually, I'll go one step better. Based off what Soul Provider said and looking at it from his perspective, let's be honest. Everything Lex did could have been done by somebody else, like Batman.
Exactly.
True.
Yeah. True.
I mean,
for the double crossing at the end, Batman.
That was expected. That was expected, though.
Yeah, that's expected. Yeah, that's expected. Like Soul Provider said, he does what he does.
I had a question because I asked Egg on this before, but is the villain in the comic books? The villain, is he an actual villain in the comic books, or is he made up for the film?
Lobos?
No, the guy who was absorbing energy and all that.
Parasite. No, he's actually been in Justice League. He was in Superman the animated series. Yes.
No. He's talking about the comic books. Yes, he's a real character.
Oh, okay, but yeah, I was gonna say yeah.
Yeah, I didn't know that.
So he's called Parasite.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. Didn't know that.
His name is Rudy Jones. They've done
Rudy Jones.
They've done 3 versions of him.
Okay. Well, and as a villain, also weak. I would say weak on that point. I mean, it was cool.
Am I the only person here who reads comic books?
No.
I don't read them like that. I
remember a Marvel dude.
Yeah, I read more Marvel, but I do remember him being in there. But like I said, I knew he wasn't new. I knew he'd been in the comics before, as well as the animated series, as well as Justice League. So he's not a new character.
No, he goes back a while. To the 60s, if I remember correctly.
Oh wow, I didn't realize that.
Yeah, some of these characters have been around a long time. A long time.
Yeah, I thought maybe he came in the 80s. I didn't realize he went back to the 60s.
No. The first version of him came out, if I remember correct, 1966.
Oh wow.
Damn.
All these characters are old, man.
Besides that, I think the animation was good. The fighting was good. Seeing Lobo versus Superman, that was pretty dope. I'm not gonna lie.
It was.
I would probably give this, because the problem with this is there's so many movies to compare it from. Mm-hmm. So the question is, are you going to remember this movie compared to all the others? And I think that's going to be a no.
You're not? Okay.
There's too many of them. It's like it's gonna be really hard. The only thing that's gonna make me remember this film is Lobo. That's the only reason I'll remember.
See, the reason why I'm going to remember it is because this is the first time he wasn't advertised as a cuck. Yeah, I mean, no, seriously. I mean, Superman was making power moves against Lois. I mean, I don't remember him ever doing that shit. Ever. He ran game on her.
Well, like I said, I recognize it, but again, it just depends on what time stamp you're looking at. I said,
I've even seen the George Reeves Superman.
Yeah, I'm not happy with this. TV show.
Yeah.
I'm probably gonna give this like a 7. Probably a good 7.
Yeah, that's why I went to 7. Yeah, but I've seen Lobo before, but it's always entertaining because it's control. Lobo is controlled nigga chaos. I mean, he is. I mean, it's the perfect way to describe him.
All right, so let me see if I got this right. Eisen Soul Provider 7, myself and Smooth a 6. What do you got, Aegon?
I think I'll go with a 7, but it's like I like this introduction. So, but I think what make this memorable is what movies come after this, and how they bring on Batman and other characters. That's what make this more memorable if they do it right. So I'll have to go with a 7 for now, and then later on, like a year or two, I'll see how it is. Because oh, you got it, so.
That's a good question. What year did this come out? Was it 2015 or what?
2020.
No, this came out recently.
Yo, it just came out like a month and a half
2020?
ago.
Yeah.
A month and a half. Yeah, a month and a half.
Wow.
A month and a half, 2 months tops.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, I wonder. I was looking for it on HBO Max. I'm like, where the fuck is it? I'm like, oh shit, I didn't know it came out this year.
Yeah, no, it's recent.
Yeah, it was straight to DVD. Yeah.
Right.
I watched that. The first time I watched it was 2 weeks ago, and I think it had been out 2 weeks before that, so about a month.
Yeah.
Oh shit. Okay.
Because it was that, and the other one was Deathstroke.
Still gotta watch that.
Deathstroke came out before it. That was it called? Knights and Dragons, and I'm going to be doing a review on it next Saturday too. So.
Oh, I got pages ready for that.
Okay.
I got pages.
Knights and Dragons.
Yeah, Deathstroke, Knights and Dragons.
Oh shit. Okay, I gotta look for that one.
Yeah. I want to let me get the rest of my review.
Okay, go ahead.
I like the Martian Manhunter's portrayal in this, even though he's normally like himself. But I like the that human character he played with like the FBI jacket, like the old
detective.
The old
like
detective.
Columbo. He got that Columbo jacket on.
Yeah. I really dug that. I really dug
more like Secret Service.
Right back in the day, like some old detective or spies. That spy type of thing.
Gadget.
Yeah. Those jackets too. I liked his parents a lot in this movie.
Yeah.
They explained a lot to him, and they treated him like a man. Like we're not going to be here, so you have to do the right thing, type of thing. And I'm glad they didn't go the route with killing off the man. It's like that's the new thing with killing off Clark's dad.
Dad, yeah.
Had a mom around by herself. I really dig that. One part of the movie that never go away in my head. That's why so this kind of will stay in my mind. The fact that Superman bled meant a lot to me when he cut his hand on the glass. Because I've never seen him bleed personally. I've never seen him bleed, and then the fact that he was kind of like helpless after Parasite took his powers. And then she came into the room, and then I like that he saw that she was trying to take his story. So she was always on code, I guess, to further her career.
Yeah.
One part that made me cringe a little bit, but I liked it. I liked it for the story, but it made me kind of cringe when they was calling him Coffee Boy. I didn't like that personally. I was like, Clark, you could kill these dudes if they just don't know. But then
it was an intern.
Yeah. But I just didn't like. I personally didn't like it, but I loved it for the storyline. It's like like I said about the Marlo thing. He's great for the story. I dig it, but it's like I like Superman to do well. So it's like yo, Coffee Boy. They basically was calling him bitch. Like yo, bitch. Like, and he's like, hey, it's good. I'm like, yo, y'all you're talking to God right now.
Well, here's the thing. Like I was telling him, you had the whole deal in Kill Bill where David Carradine gave the analysis that Superman is who he is while Clark is the mask.
Right.
And I told Lawrence, I said I disagreed. That there's actually 4 faces to him, and he's compartmentalized. And they're each aspect of him, but at the core personality is the Smallville Clark Kent, not the Metropolis one.
Right. Okay.
The Smallville Clark Kent is the one that only, of course, Ma and Pa Kent have seen. Bruce, John Jones, and then Lois. and Diana, Wonder Woman. Those are the only ones that have actually seen the original individual. Whereas Kal-El, he had to learn to be that through the Fortress of Solitude, and then interacting with Zod and Kara, and of course, in different timelines that they've had where he goes to Krypton. Superman is who he grew up to be, as being he was always powerful, but this is the identity he created for himself. That's supposed to be a reflection. It's supposed to be what humanity should desire to be.
I have a question about the villain, Parasite. So, comparing this villain to what you've seen in the comics, is this a good portrayal of him?
You're talking.
Nope.
You're talking to me.
Oh, anyone can. Anyone, yeah, anyone, yeah.
Well, the origin is to be questionable. It's questionable. It's
different.
Not, yeah, it's all three versions are different. As far as it goes for, you know what? No, I'm gonna say no. I'm gonna say no. As far as it goes for his abilities with absorption, yeah, they nailed it. But outside of that, everything else is a no.
Okay, because I'm wondering, like, okay, and I know, it's not like these movies, they have a limit, the time limit. So the way he's absorbing these powers is like extremely fast, and he's learning these powers like insanely quick. Like it doesn't take him any type of training or nothing. He just absorbs the power, and he's just able to do everything the person can do. It seems.
Yeah, that's how it is.
That's how it's always been.
Because what it is that he's not just absorbing the powers. He's absorbing the talent and skills that come along with those,
as well as their memories. He's absorbing their actual life.
Okay, wait.
Yeah. Well, depending on which version, but yeah, that's true.
So wait. So you're saying that if he was to absorb a weak person who was this unskilled, then he would be unskilled in that power?
No. What I'm saying is
it's like this. It's like this. If he walked into remember that scene when he was on the hospital bed and they were trying to help him?
Yeah.
And he absorbed them. When he absorbed them, he also absorbed all their skill sets. So he could be a surgeon if he wanted to.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, he absorbed their knowledge and skill sets. So yeah.
Yeah, that's why I said he's absorbing their life.
Yeah. He's taking their life, and he's also taking their memories and their skill sets.
Okay, that's why he knew about the medicine and all that other stuff. That one scene, right?
Exactly. Exactly.
Oh, okay,
exactly.
Got
but the thing is I'm not sure exactly in the comics, but he has to absorb him to death to be able to keep it.
Right. He absorbs, and then
if he doesn't absorb him to death, there's a time limit on it.
Well, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter in the comics. He can absorb him to death, but he'll eventually lose him.
Okay, wait.
He does.
So
yeah,
I mean,
they may have adjusted that then, I guess.
So when he was absorbing Superman, why didn't Superman's body get kind of rotten? I mean,
because he has that.
He's
because
immortal.
Superman has. No, well, it's not a question of immortality. It's just you got to remember the way they pay Superman's powers is that he's a living battery. So Parasite is sitting there and absorbing, but the batteries are still getting recharged because he's still in sunlight.
Okay,
that's why I said immortal. As long as he's in the solar system of a yellow sun, he's pretty much immortal. He can revive himself.
Man, I don't want to go into that because there's several like deep ass.
I forgot because I forgot in one of the movies where Lex pretty much figures this out. That as long as he's anywhere, as long as he's on this planet with the yellow sun, he's pretty much virtually unkillable almost.
Yeah, and that's why when I have conversations with you guys and stuff like that, my information sounds skewed because what's in the movies as opposed to what's in the comics is different to a large degree, and it doesn't make a difference if it's animation or live action. They just change so much from the actual comic that sometimes when I'm talking about stuff, everybody pauses because it's radically different than what you guys have seen growing up on the movies and the anime. So
checking for you. Please remove that comment from my doggone chat. We do not speak of Superman 4 here. As far as I'm concerned, here, Superman 3 and 4 do not exist.
And it's Christopher Reeves, not Christopher Reed.
Yeah. But yes, Superman 4 does not exist. We do not speak of it here.
Superman 4. I'm trying to think which one that is.
Man, you don't know. We're not thinking of it. We are not.
The funny thing is that, you know, the first time Eisen and I ever talked about Superman, I remember the first time he said that to me, I about died. I was trying to make a point about something, and he's like, "Hell no, we don't talk about that." I was like, "What?" So I thought that was pretty good.
Yeah, he knows how serious I am about.
You said 3 and 4 don't exist?
No, they're both terrible.
Yeah, he doesn't recognize them. He doesn't recognize them.
What are we talking about? What'd you say? Only Superman movies I know of with Christopher Reeve are Superman 1 and 2.
You know what? We gotta really consider this score, because I mean we're reviewing the whole movie. You know, we're not just talking about the story. So we're talking about the animation, right?
Yes.
The animation obviously was great. Music
was
was great. Fight scenes were great.
Oh.
That's 3 things that were really good about the film. It's just the only weak point, I think, was the villain. And I would say Lex was a weak point. Manhunter could have been better. The only thing that makes me want to watch this again was Lobo.
But like the thing is, it's the first one. So how can it? How could it? Okay, you probably have a better answer. How could it have been better?
I would say make Lex do more than what he did. Don't make him so predictable. I would say, because I think they kind of rushed the villain part
with Lex.
Well, you said what?
Because I mean, Parasite is pretty much he's usually not too much different than what he is was here.
Okay.
They usually haven't done too much. Of course, you know, different animated things they had him. This is, as far as animation, this is the first time I've seen they've had him grow that big. So that was a new deal.
Because in my mind, I'm thinking like, how could they make this better without making it grandiose, like, you know, like on some Justice League type stuff? Yeah, because like it's the first one, so it's like, how do you keep it like straight on Superman and maybe like 3 other cats without basically making this big thing?
Yeah, that's why I gave it a 7, along with the point you brought up, Soul, about how he grew into Superman.
Yeah, because
it was a growth aspect. That's why I gave it a 7.
Aegon, you mentioned something. You said this is the first part. What do you mean?
Like, I think this is the first introduction to this universe, because the new 52 is done like after Apocalypse. Because a lot of people died during that. Justice League Dark Apocalypse. A lot of cats died, so now they starting new. That's why Clark was like finding out his powers.
Oh, okay.
yeah. Because at the end of Dark Apocalypse, pretty much all the heroes were dead. If they weren't dead, they were massively wounded and damaged.
Yes, they were changed, and
they convinced Barry Allen to run back.
Batman did rather.
Yeah, and convince him to create a new Flashpoint to restart the universe. So this is the first movie. So this is the first movie to come out after that. We're making the assumption this is the new universe.
Yes, this is the start of a new universe, start of another verse.
Yeah.
Okay, I see.
And as far as it goes for the animation, as I was saying earlier, I liked it because I could see a lot of similarities to Darwin Cook's animation style from DC Frontier, that animated movie. But what bothered me also is that I noticed they aped a lot of stuff from other places. Because if you look at like what Aegon was saying about Martian Manhunter in the trench coat and the hat, you know, that was a play off
like Dick Tracy.
Well, actually, it was more of a play off Men in Black, not the Will Smith stuff, but before that, there used to be a comic book called Men in Black and stuff.
Okay, well, I never read that. I knew that.
And that's how they always describe Men in Black. So that was one. The second thing is that if you look at Parasite and you look at the way, especially when they were in the river scene near the end, and the way he was growing and the energy, and so you could see slight hints of them taking cues from Batman v Superman with Doomsday. You could see it plain as day.
I thought you was gonna say Godzilla.
So you got that. So you know what I'm saying. So I mean, there were little, and then in the beginning with that scene with Clark as a little boy watching that movie, like I was telling Eisen earlier, when you see the aliens' head change, you see a scene. They turn into, those creatures are literally copies of from a comic called Mars Attacks, and other 1950 B movies. So like I said, it was decent, but you could see they copied a lot of style from a couple of different places.
Blaze also made a good point too. They kind of had Martian Manhunter with the whole the trench coat and hood thing. Kind of like now that you think about it, it does kind of remind you of The Question too.
Yeah, true. He does have the same costume.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Well, the Question, and before the Question, Sandman.
Okay, see, I don't know about Sandman.
Okay, and actually, I'll have to give credit because the way they hid John, like I had no idea that was going to be him. Like I thought it was like some type of enemy or something.
I like that too.
Oh no! As soon as I saw him, I knew that was John. As soon as I saw him, I knew it was John.
I'm not gonna lie. I didn't. I knew it had to be an alien, but I did not know who. I knew it. I knew it wasn't somebody human. But whenever he they did that cut scene back at the farm and he phased, I was like, oh yeah, I should have known it.
Right.
Yeah. Because like I said, the first time I watched it with the family, and as soon as he showed up on that street corner, they're looking at him. They're like, wait a minute. And then when the car went by and he vanished, everybody was like, that's John. So they started screaming.
Yeah. If I had seen that little phase deal, then I would have thought it, then. But just because he wasn't there, I was like, damn. Thought maybe it was fast or something. I didn't know. Yeah.
But they got real excited because they love John Jones. John Jones and Arthur Curry are big in this house, man. But we knew it as soon as we saw it. I mean, we just did.
Okay. And I would say this, that I think they need to give Lobo like his own movie. Why not?
Yes, I agree.
I mean, we've always seen him feature on a movie. I mean, why not just do a movie based on his fucking origin? I mean, because like I said, I didn't know he was immortal till that movie.
Yeah. They had an episode, and I don't know if it was Justice League or Justice League Unlimited, where I forget, they were fighting Toy Man, and he had a gun.
Superman was dead.
Yeah. It ended up transporting him to another reality in time. No, it transported him to the future.
With Vandal Savage.
Vandal Savage, where Savage had destroyed everything, and he was out of time, and they actually had Lobo filling in, and that shit didn't work at all.
No, it did not. It did not.
But it was hilarious though. I think it was two or three part episode. It was really good.
It was two, and it was funny because like the saying goes with Lobo, for real, everything can only end badly, and it
exactly,
it absolutely did.
Exactly, but it was great. Yeah. But yes, I do agree with you. I think they do need to make a movie or with Lobo. I think it'd be good. It'd be very entertaining, definitely, because of
I'm sure it's on their list. I mean, it seems like such an obvious thing to do by now. Shit, they gave. I just watched the Ray, that movie. I watched that shit. I mean,
I haven't watched the Ray. I don't know.
It was man. I mean,
and again, that's the new one. That's the new modern take on the character. Because he's not even a modern character. He's from the golden age during World War II.
Yeah.
Exactly. But yeah, it's interesting because you want to see what direction this is going to go, because right out the gate they gave us Martian Manhunter and Superman. They made at least 3 separate occasions hinting at Batman. So it's gonna be interesting, because I mean, between the pictures with Lois in the copy room, his mother making comment about creating his suit similar to the Batman in Gotham. So we know quote unquote Batman's real. So it's going to be interesting to see what direction. Now, as far as it goes for a Lobo movie, I think the reason they're not doing a Lobo movie is because their last interpretation of Lobo in comics and in the general fan base was so poorly received, it was retarded, because they took Lobo and they turned him into an emo kind of character.
Oh wow!
And when I say it landed badly, I'm talking about bad. No,
it's that feminism. It's that feminism, right?
I don't even think it sold 10,000 copies. And
it's that feminism, right?
I know it was. I don't know. It was a dude. And to be honest,
it don't mean it still ain't feminism influence.
I never read it, so I don't know. I honestly, I honestly couldn't tell you if it was or wasn't. I never read it, but it was so badly perceived, and they kind of pulled back on Lobo for a little while. So that might be why they're not doing.
Yeah, I think it's feminism writing, making him emo, because I mean he has the persona of, let's be honest, of a he's a Stifler from American Pie. Okay. I mean he's the brash Chad type, but he's powerful, but he's someone you can't take seriously as far as what he says.
Okay,
I'm trying to think of other bounty hunters in like Marvel and DC that are similar to him or different types of media.
I think of Ghost Rider when I see Lobo.
See, I don't see anybody like Lobo, to be honest.
Yeah, I don't either. I mean, is the Lobo and Ghost Rider thing because of the bike?
There's another bounty hunter. I'm trying to remember his name.
Yeah,
somewhere.
That's what it is for me that they had the bikes.
In Marvel?
It might be in Marvel. Like I was,
the only bounty hunter that you have in Marvel that I can think of is Ghost Rider, but his is for Wayward Spirits.
Does Kraven count?
Kraven's a bounty hunter somewhat.
No, Kraven's not. No. Kraven's a hunter. He's not a bounty.
No, he's not a bounty hunter.
Oh, okay. Ghost Rider is not listed as a bounty hunter either.
No.
So.
Well, do y'all remember that episode of Superman Adventures when Superman got captured by the Collector and Lobo was there too? It was like this
the
alien.
Collector's in Marvel.
Yeah, he is.
Well, I'm sorry, I might have got a name mixed up, but it was like this alien collector. He was an alien. No, it wasn't Brainiac. It was an alien collector dude who basically collected every species in the universe, and he had
That sounds like Brainiac.
It wasn't Brainiac. It was Lobo was there, Superman, and it was this star.
What did he have him do? Are you talking about Mongol of Warworld? Because he always captured the strongest to have him fight to the death.
Well, this one, I don't think they were fighting to the death. It was basically, do you remember that star people that basically like Superman had in the Solitude? What's it called?
Oh, Starro.
Yeah, the people that they went on your chest and they took basically
you're talking about the Black
Black Mercy.
Black Mercy. Yeah, that was Mongol. I remember Mongol using it. That's what you're talking about.
Yeah, Mongol. That is Mongol. Yeah, that's Mongol.
Yeah, Mongol used them, but they came from somewhere else because remember Superman defeated the dude who was the Collector, and then he had all these species, and then he took them to the Fortress of Solitude. So that's why I'm trying to remember who that guy was.
Is this a comic?
No, it was a TV show.
An animated series.
Because Superman defeated the dude, and then there's all these species there. So Superman, I said, I'm gonna take you out to the future of the what's the name? The Fortress of Solitude. But then Mongol used them to basically take down the Justice League. Well, basically, I think it was two stories. Where basically, the first one was when the Star People, Superman went to go feed one of them, and they hopped on his chest, and he was basically feeding them to the.
That was the episode with Starro. Period. Because it was trying to take over, and he.
I don't remember that.
We've talked about that one before, Lawrence.
We have.
We have. It's been a while.
Check out a question about if this movie has replay value.
Oh yes, right.
Well, I watched it twice.
I watched it twice too.
I would say it has at least twice replay. That's what.
I don't know.
That's why I think. Go ahead.
Go ahead. No, you go ahead.
I was just gonna say that's why I said that's why I gave it a 7. It's the new 50. It seems like it's setting up to be a new start of, like we said, of a new flashpoint for after the New 52. And I bring up your point about them not just having a Mary Sue version of Superman. He just knows all this shit. Him actually growing through each encounter. Him not being a cuck out of the gate for Lois, and him playing a game with her like she's been playing with him. The Lobo being introduced in the story, which made it very entertaining. The Parasite, the only thing new about the Parasite for me, other than of course they changed the origin deal, is having the huge Godzilla Parasite deal. But I think the writing was above marginal, above media, it's above marginal, and the growth of Superman throughout this. So that's why I gave it a 7.
Yeah.
Yo, can I tell you what I was talking about with Starro?
Oh, yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, Starro made a cameo appearance on Superman animated series. It was seen in the episode "The Main Man" as one of the creatures held by the Galactic Preservers private zoo. After the Preservers' demise by Superman and Lobo, Superman takes Starro along with the other host alien species back to the Fortress of Solitude. The next time he was seen was in Batman Beyond, and it's because the Justice League was like losing people. I mean, they were getting killed. The Justice League was getting killed off, and Batman sent Terry McGinnis to join the Justice League. And it turns out Superman got took over by Starro.
That's right. I forgot about that episode.
This is when they were older. Yeah. And then the other part was the Justice League Unlimited, where Starro was used by what's her name, the Mongol, or whatever his name was.
World.
Yeah.
No, he also used the black. I don't know if he used. No, he didn't use Starro. He just used the Black Mercy. You're probably equating that with, unless it says it.
In the Justice League episode, Mongol did use the Black Mercy in one episode. That was the one for the man who has everything. Yeah, that's when he put Clark in a dream state, back on Krypton, had a wife, kids, that kind of thing.
Matter of fact, he had multiple ones. He used one on Batman. He had 2. No,
right. That's not Starro. That's the Black Mercy. Yeah,
that was the Black Mercy. No, I forgot. Yeah. He used it on Superman, and
they pulled it off, and it latched on to Bruce.
Batman, and but Batman got it to unlatch himself.
Mm-hmm. That's my boy. That's my boy. Great. When in doubt, always be Batman.
He's by far my favorite DC character. So,
I'm watching Justice League God and Monsters right now. Shit's really dope.
God and Monsters.
Yeah, that's an Elseworlds story on an alternate universe.
Oh, is that the one where
Batman
Zod
vampire?
Yeah, where Zod is
wait, don't tell me. I didn't finish it.
Oh, my bad.
You didn't finish it. That's why I got quiet after I said that.
My bad. I didn't hear that.
But yeah, I mean, it's all right. It's better than the Freedom Fighter Ray movie I was watching.
Yeah. But that Justice League Dark Apocalypse was awesome.
Yeah, but as far as it goes, as far as it goes for the replay value, I give it no more than 3.
For the replay value. Gotcha.
Yeah. And the reason I say that is because the first time you're going to watch it just for the sake of watching it. The second time you'll watch it because you're going to look at the nuances. The third time, which is questionable, totally depends on the next couple of movies that they release. If there's hidden Easter eggs that led up to the cover. So, but if they don't do that, then it stops dead at 2.
Okay.
Replay value, I would say, like I said, I mean, if you're only watching this to watch the Lobo fight, and you're watching it for the second would be for Superman, trying to with the character of Superman. Those 2 things alone is what would make someone watch this. But it's like after you watch this once, I don't know if it's worth getting. Well, actually, no, I would get it on Blu-ray for real. I probably would get it on Blu-ray. I think it's worth getting on Blu-ray and adding to my collection. But I wouldn't watch this maybe once or twice.
More than twice. Yeah, I agree. I agree.
Yeah. And that's why I said if it has nothing to do or there's no hidden gems in it that we missed for future movies, I would stop at 2. I would dead stop at 2. But if the next one is Batman and they make a comment or reference about something, that happened in the Superman thing, and I don't remember it, then I'll go back and check it again. But outside of that, I wouldn't go past 2. I wouldn't go past 2.
So
that's the way I see it. But like I said, overall, like I said, for me, it's a solid 6.
Okay.
It's a solid 6.
It's just hard because there's so many movies. That's the problem. It's hard to rate it at 8 or 9.
Well, it's
no, I couldn't go that high. Yeah, no.
This is not even close. Because see, here's the thing. If you look at, because I'm a credits dude, I always check out the credits. And if you notice, Sam Liu is inside of it. Is a director or one of the directors. Sam Liu, in my opinion, is the reason they had to shut down the previous universe before starting this one. Because you look at a lot of the movies that came out, their version of The Killing Joke.
That one, Killing Joke wasn't that good.
Or my personal one that they ruined the most was Hush. That was horrible.
Yes, because they did not make. Whenever if they had kept who was Hush in the comics, it would have been great.
Exactly, but see, here's the thing: all those movies I said were overseen by Sam Liu. They brought Sam Liu in, and here's the problem with Sam Liu and why those movies are bad. Sam Liu's running history was already negative before he got the job, because Sam Liu was the dude who oversaw all the animated stuff for Marvel.
That says enough right there. That says enough right there.
And that's my point. That's my point.
Yeah,
that's my point.
That's a red flag.
So I got a question. Was he on watch whenever they did that Avengers movie, that first one?
Which one?
The first Avengers animated movie.
The first, you have to remind me what that was.
The one where did they go to Wakanda for a minute?
I
think aliens came. I think the aliens came. They had the symbol for the first time. That was the one where the Hulk snapped, and you remember he hit. Well, he was Giant Man then. He hit him in the leg and was choking the life out of him. He beat the shit out of Captain America, and Thor. He beat the crap out of Iron Man, and he went to lift up Thor's hammer, and Thor was like, you can't lift it up. No one. And he picked it up and he slung it at him and hit him in the head and beat the shit out of Thor. I may have to watch that again and do a review on that.
Chicken had a good point. Oh, go ahead.
No. You go first. You're fine.
Oh, okay, yeah. Check had a good point that this movie has to have an it factor. But for this movie, technically, I would say it would be Lobo.
And actually seeing him grow into being Superman. That's the it factor about it.
I guess the problem is how strong is that it factor compared to the other movies? That's the problem.
I see what you're saying.
Yeah, I see what you're saying too.
Yeah, I see what you're saying.
But I think it's I don't think it's like you watch it a whole bunch of times as of right now.
Well, all of them. Well, hold on. Checking for you. All of their animated movies are all straight to home entertainment.
yeah, true. They go straight to Blu-ray.
They go straight to Blu-ray or whatever download or streaming deal you can do. So yeah.
But like I said, I'll give DC credit, man. They're animated films, man. They're worth collecting.
Yes, they are.
They're worth it. They're worth it.
They are. I agree.
Yeah. Even when they're bad, they're still worth it.
Yeah. I mean, there'll be some that are bad, but it's like there's some that are, there's hardly ever that are just so bad that it's not worth dealing with. I mean, it's not like you're talking about. Golly,
I'll say this though: what's that one? Batman, Gaslight, I think, something like that.
I like Gotham and Gaslight.
Man,
Gotham by Gaslight. I like that. The Killing Joke, I didn't like.
Yeah, that one was bad too.
But
the Batman
Samurai,
like I said, one. Did you watch?
Yeah,
that?
I didn't even. I didn't try and watch that one.
Yeah, I saw that one. Like I said, I mean, they have hits and misses, but like I said, I mean, when you line them all up one by one, there's none worse than Hush.
Wait, no, Killing Joke. Killing Joke.
No, I have to disagree.
The only problem with Hush, it's only one aspect of it they got wrong. In making the Riddler Hush. I mean, if they didn't do that, it was great.
Nah, I'm sorry. I have to respectfully disagree. I can't.
Okay. See, for me, I enjoyed every aspect of it except for that.
That's a good point. So wait, because I don't read the comics, so I'm asking you guys. So for Hush, I mean, that's not the original character. Riddler's not the original character, right?
Nope.
No,
his friend that was the brain surgeon was Hush.
Thomas Elliott. Yeah.
Yes, that made it more. That's what made it good. That's why he don't like it. I'm telling you, I didn't like it either.
Yeah, I remember playing the the Arkham games. Hush was definitely mentioned in the Arkham games, and I don't remember it being the Riddler. So I was like, "What the hell?" That's weird.
But I didn't like the Killing Joke. But that's me.
Yeah.
Now, don't get me wrong. I'm not saying the Killing Joke was good. I just think that between the two, Hush was the worst of the two.
Okay. See, to me, it's the other one. Well, and then oh gosh, I can't even say anything about the whole samurai when they did because it looked bad enough to where I didn't even.
I didn't even watch it. It was too easy for me.
Yeah.
It wasn't worth it. It was.
So that means that may be even worse then. If it's not even worth looking at, that's got to be the worst one.
Okay, true.
But that's how I feel about Hush.
And I'm telling you, it's because Thomas Elliott wasn't Hush.
No, it's not.
What else?
I'm telling you, it's not.
What else about it?
As somebody who collected the entire storyline and watched how the storyline played out in a 12-issue round, because Jeff Loeb wrote it, Jim Lee did the artwork, and I'm telling you, more than 60% plus of that movie has nothing to do with the original story.
Damn! Wow! Damn! So okay, so what else did they fuck up? I'm just curious.
They messed up they fucked up the relationship of Bruce and Selina, how they met, how they were getting along. They messed up the relationship of Nightwing and his play in that, because Nightwing was nowhere in that fucking story. They left out the big part that Superman played in the thing. Poison Ivy. The list goes on, my dude. I'm telling you.
Damn.
That is
I'm not gonna argue. I'm not gonna argue. So then we're saying then that the Samurai one was the worst, and then that one. And then the Killing Joke.
Well, for like I said, for me, Hush is the worst because see, as far as it goes for the samurai thing, the reason why it's not top of my list is because it's an original thing. I have nothing to base it on, the concept. But when I look at Hush and you try to make me pay $19.99 for a movie that doesn't even match the story you're claiming it's based on, I got a fucking malfunction.
I got you there. So Hush for you is like the third Batman for the Christopher Nolan one for me.
Say that one more time.
I said so Hush for you is like the third Batman with Christian Bale for me.
Oh God, that was horrible too.
Okay, wait a second. Wait. Okay, wait. Are you saying the worst out of the three?
Yes, it is the worst period.
Yes, it is the worst out of the three.
Because okay, I was just making sure.
The worst one ever, of course, is Clooney.
George Clooney.
Yeah, Clooney. And then that one. Then that one after that.
Credit card and shit.
Yeah, then the third one with Bale is after that.
Yeah. And the same problem with that third one with Christian Bale is the same one I'm explaining about Hush. That's why I said that. Yeah, the vast majority of stuff in that story has nothing to do with the character's original concepts. I don't mind that you tweak things a little bit because you got to appear to a broader audience than just those of us who collect comics. But it was so radically different between Talia, what Bane represents, the overall story. It was insane.
Oh yeah, they messed up with Talia. That one made me lower my rating for the first one.
You know what? They were trying to follow the formula of Dark Knight, right? Because they used Harvey Dent as the it factor in Dark Knight. So they tried to use Talia, which was a terrible. They did a terrible job. I mean, no one really cared. I mean, it was a reveal, but no one cared about the reveal. I mean, it wasn't like
because it was wrong.
Any better.
Well, it was wrong because at the end of the day, how do you create that third movie and create a relationship or whatever it is between Bane and Talia when you've already established for over 20 years? If you see Talia, you'll see Ra's, not Bane. You'll see Ra's, and that's what your story should have been on. And as a matter of fact, if you had used Ra's, it made more sense of him destroying Gotham City because that falls within Ra's mentality of environmentalism.
They fucked up Ra's in the first one, though.
Yes, yeah. Whenever the moment you decide to bring in Talia for the third one, you fuck up the first one.
Well, you could have played it as a straight revenge movie. You killed my father. Now I'm here to take everything from you. You could have at least did that.
But what I'm saying is, but you can't. But the moment. But what I'm talking about is there is no precept for her because of the first one. There was no introduction of a little hint of her in there because the whole thing is the simple fact, man. These two bump uglies for her to get bump uglies throughout his life, for her to even drug him to have a son later on.
Mm-hmm. True.
So you just
that
like with the third one, you wash away the first one completely to make it to where the best one is The Dark Knight.
But here's my point. Even with everything you just said, I would still prefer that story than the one they gave us. That's how much I dislike that third one.
Without a doubt, I'll never argue that. And then too, with the whole fact of Bane, all he did was bring his knee up and it brought his back and it broke his back. There was no literal look. They could have done something to where it made it look like his heels touched the back of his head or something. The only thing he did was lift his leg up and his back is broke.
Yep. Now, as far as it goes for checking for you in the chat, Image Comics, my dude, I was there when they launched, man. I got Image Comics ever since they launched in 1991. Wow. So some of their stuff is decent. Yo, I'm telling you, you guys have no idea how many comics I got. like I said, I started collecting comics when they were 20 cents. So, I got a lot of damn comics. And I have if I remember correctly, last time I checked, I'm in the top 6 for the largest for the largest digital compilation of comics.
Golly, damn!
And I'm number I think I'm number 5 or number 6 for the top compilation, and I'm number 3 for the largest digital compilation of public domain comics.
Damn.
So,
you tell us now?
Wow.
What do you mean tell us now? What does that mean?
That means you can look probably for a one-on-one with Soul in the future.
Oh, that's what that means. Oh, okay, that's what that means. Okay, I didn't know what that meant. I'm sorry, but yeah, that's my thing. Oh, okay, check if you were there since when they jumped off too. All right, cool, that'll work. We got much to talk about, brother. Wow. Much to talk about. Wow. But I was there when all of them quit Marvel, man. Did the walkout, started Image Comics because Image Comics actually was an imprint of Malibu, and it became more successful than Malibu, and then they branched off on their own. And I guess Marvel thought to themselves, in case Malibu wanted to do it again, they bought all the stock of Malibu and all the properties.
Man. That's a good ass topic, man. We got to do that. We got to do like a comic book stream. That'd be good.
Yeah, I agree.
Yo, can I ask y'all something?
Sure.
You know what's weird about the Christian Bale movies? Remember the first movie? Who's the girl that Bruce Wayne grew up with?
Rachel?
Yeah, Rachel, right?
Rachel.
Yeah. But then who's the girl?
No, wait. What are we talking about? Movies or comics?
The movie. He's talking about the movie. He said Christian.
Okay, well, yeah, because it's not in the comics. Okay.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, the 3 Christian Bale movies. The girl he grew up was Rachel. That was played by
She was played twice. The first time by Katie Holmes, and the second time by, my God, Lord have mercy, Maggie Gyllenhaal.
Yeah. So that was the same girl.
This same character.
Okay, it was the same character.
But played by 2 different actresses.
Okay, because that blew me. So then, who was the Catwoman in the third movie?
Catwoman.
Not Catwoman.
Yeah, Catwoman was in the third one.
Yeah, Catwoman was the third, and then you had Talia.
No, but who was that though? Who's the girl that was? Remember, she could fight, but then she acted like she was scared when the cops came. On the third movie.
He's talking about Talia. I think that's how it went. Talia,
was that Talia or was that? Hold on.
No, that was Talia. I think she played like she was scared and got away.
Oh yeah. That was
Talia.
That was Talia. Okay, because I'm thinking because I didn't know that those 2 people were playing the same character, and
they weren't. It's a different character. But
and that was Annie Hathaway, I think, right?
No, Anne
Yeah,
Hathaway played Anne Hathaway played
played
Catwoman. I can't.
Yeah. That's
The girl. I think was it the chick who played Scarlet Witch played Talia, wasn't it?
What?
No, it is not.
Yeah,
No, Susan Olsen. No,
They
it's
don't,
not.
they don't look
No,
alike.
no, it's
I
not.
thought-
It's not Susan Olsen. It's not Susan Olsen.
Okay, I thought it was.
No, I'm trying to look it up right now. Give me a second.
Go ahead.
That's
Go
how.
ahead, do your
That's how
thing.
bad. That's how bad it was. I don't even have to commit it to
And I'll
memory.
say this about Rises, man. Catwoman was fucking useless. Like, why even have her in the movie? She didn't do shit.
And then 2 minutes to get a freaking nuclear bomb out into a big ass lake.
That's the damn joke of the series. There's always a fucking bomb in every movie and shit.
Okay, Talia was played by Marion Cotillard. She's French, I think.
So who was Catwoman?
She's not. She grew up in New Orleans, but she was in Highlander TV show.
Hold on. So how did Bruce meet Anne Hathaway in the Dark Knight series with Christian Bale?
She stole something from the mansion, from his mansion.
They were actually, what it really came down to is they were both trying to get at a piece of technology for different reasons. She wanted it to erase her history, and he wanted it for something else. But yeah, she definitely broke into the mansion and all that crap.
Okay, because I got the Catwoman mixed up with the woman from the first movie. I thought they were the same chick because they look the same.
Nah, that's Rachel. Nah, totally
because they changed her in the third movie, so I thought that maybe she left. She was in the first movie, left, and that was a new chick in the second movie, and the third movie was the girl from the first movie.
Nah,
because Anne Hathaway in who's the chick from the first movie?
Rachel Dawson.
Rachel Dawson, Katie Holmes.
Yeah, Katie Holmes. Yeah.
Katie Holmes and Anne Hathaway kind of look the same.
No, they don't.
No, they don't. Not to me, anyway. Not to me, they don't.
No, they don't.
Man, such a good series, though, man. Such a good series. Overall, a good series.
Overall, till it gets to the third one.
Yeah. Overall, though, I mean, as a whole, I mean, it has such tons of replayability. I mean, you can honestly watch that shit every year.
The first two, I can. That third one, I'm not watching shit.
Well, yeah. I mean, the first two, yeah, of course.
Especially the Dark Knight, the one with that moment when Heath Ledger was walking out of that hospital and he started pressing that button like mad because he didn't want to blow up. That shit right there was one of those moments where I was like, "That's the Joker."
As a matter of fact, that wasn't the script.
Yeah.
The director admitted that was an accident. He did it so good they kept it in.
Yeah, it was great. There was a moment where you was like, "That's the Joker right there." It was great.
Yeah. But as far as and another thing about the Dark Knight Rises that really bothered me was to miss out on an opportunity to have an actor like Tom Hardy and waste it was bothersome as well.
Yeah, I agree. I agree.
Because, like I said, because now he has two things on his resume that's always going to look bad for him. The first one is the last Star Trek movie, Nemesis, where he played the clone of Jean-Luc Picard, and now you're going to have Bane added on to that.
You know what? I don't.
He did come back. He did come back well. He did come back well playing Venom, though.
That shows how bad Star Trek Nemesis is because I don't remember it.
Star Trek
Nemesis?
Not Nemesis, but
that's it. No, that was it. Star Trek Nemesis. That's the one Data finally died in. The very last one with the Next Generation crew.
Yeah, that shows that it's so bad because I don't remember that.
Was that a real life movie?
Yes.
Well, it's not Nemesis, but I think it's what's supposed to be based off Nemesis.
Wait,
the third one?
No. The name of it is Star Trek Nemesis.
I mean, when did it come out? What are you talking about? After when?
Hold on. It's a while ago. Hold on, I'll pull it up. Star Trek Nemesis. It came out in 2002.
Wait a second. Was it like a spinoff?
It's the very last movie starring the Next Generation cast.
Oh, okay.
So yeah, it was and like I said, the name of it is Star Trek Nemesis, and Tom Hardy played a clone. Yes, Tom Hardy played.
I barely seen it.
Okay, sorry. I thought you said Star Wars. I thought
no. I said Star Trek.
Okay, I don't. I've seen some of the movies.
When it comes to Star Wars, I leave all that to Eisen. That's his space.
Yeah.
I leave all that
more.
Wait, okay. So, what do you think about the recent Star Trek films? Do you think that was a good trilogy or what?
Oh shit!
What are you talking about with Zachary Quinto and the rest of them?
Yeah, like the recent ones that came out.
It's good. It's good eye candy popcorn film, but I don't consider it Star Trek because it
was pretty weak.
Well, at least it literally moves away from the very foundation of what Gene Roddenberry did when he created it. Gene Roddenberry, it was not about splash and dash, destroying this, destroying that, shoot 'em up, bang 'em up.
Hey, hold on.
All his stories had a moral center and fiber to it. You don't get that in these new ones.
Hey, Lawrence, which is the simple reason why I could not stand J.J. Abrams whenever they brought him in for Star Wars and they said that shit was happening. I was like, oh, fuck.
Well, J.J. Abrams is a hack. I mean, even in his own TED Talks, he says he's a hack. You know, so he say, that little stupid box about subverting expectations. There's no such fucking thing, subverting expectations. It's stupid. It's stupid. And if you look at everything he's done, the only thing J.J. Abrams did that was original was the TV show Alias and maybe Lost before he started going off the rails with that.
And Lost was terrible to me.
Yeah, I never watched it.
It was terrible. For me, it was terrible.
I never got behind. I never got behind. Who, me?
Yeah, you're going in and out.
Star Trek Into the Darkness was a classic. I don't know what y'all talking about, yo.
What? Exactly.
I'll be honest, man. I just don't remember anything from that trilogy. I'm sorry.
It's not that memorable.
And that's the point.
Yes, it is.
I don't remember shit.
I mean, the thing is, the only thing you really had was, Chris Pine's portrayal of Kirk. His acting was good, but I mean, overall, what they're trying to say of the movies, there was nothing to make it stick. I mean, the actors, I think, portraying these portrayals of these characters, they're not bad, but the story writing for it is terrible.
It's flash and dash, man. It was all flash and dash.
It's J.J. Abrams shit.
That's all Star Trek is.
Star Trek is not flash and dash, my dude.
I can't say that. No, that's J.J. Abrams.
Star Trek.
J.J. Abrams is Star Trek.
No, he's not.
Boy, you better cut this. I ain't even know Star Trek. I ain't even know Trekkie, but I know. Aegon trolling you now. Don't do it. Don't snap.
I was just about to say
Aegon trolling you.
He knows he's trolling.
Yeah, that's what I was about to say. He's trolling me, but like I said, they did so much with it that is so against the foundation of Gene Roddenberry's vision and work. And like Gene said himself, every episode, every movie is a morality tale, and we got none of that. It was just lots of flashing lights and blowing stuff up and people acting stupid. Like one of the biggest things that I had a problem with, and I know it, and it's just a petty thing for me. I'm being honest, but that whole relationship with Spock and Uhura.
That was forced.
It did not feel natural at all.
Well, not only was it forced, but it's not the original story. The original story, it's Uhura and Scotty.
Oh.
That's who's in a relationship. As a matter of fact, if you look at the last 2-3 movies of the original stars, they talked about it. They've shown it. It's Scotty and Uhura. Yeah, Scotty's bumping that.
That one is the old version with all
with
old Shatner.
Exactly.
Okay, so how about this, Lawrence? Like, so for someone who I watched the trilogy and it was sucky, what should I watch for Star Trek if I really want to get into it? What can I watch now that has aged well?
I'm gonna tell you now, the new one they got. What is it? Discovery?
Hold on. First of all, the question is are you talking TV shows or movies?
TV.
Okay, if you want to do TV, I'm telling you, watch the original series. It gets the foundation. You'll get the concept behind what Gene Roddenberry's trying to do. No question, you can watch The Next Generation. Okay. And you can hop around all you want to. Now, if you want to get to the underbelly and the dark aspect of Star Trek in a good way with some solid writing and acting, you got to check out Deep Space Nine.
I remember that one. Yeah,
You got to check out Deep Space Nine. Now you could check out Voyager, but I wouldn't put too much into Voyager.
It ain't better than Deep Space Nine.
Well, it's not a question of it being better. It's just that if you look at Voyager and you pay attention to the 7 seasons it's on, for some reason the writers had a tendency every season and a half to reset the format and the status of the characters. People complain about that all the time.
I got a question.
I'm sorry, just one more.
Go ahead.
You can check out Enterprise with Scott Bakula, which is the precursor, the first Enterprise ever.
Oh, that's right. That's right.
Now it was very good. Now they did go too far with one season focusing only on one story arc, and that was when the planet got attacked by the Xindi. And they spent like a season and a half on it. It's long and it's heavy, and if you can get through it, great. But at the tail end, on the last season and a half, 2 seasons, they really started to get their groove before Les Moonves canceled it and then got J.J. Abrams to do that other crap.
You ain't got to go no further.
Can you write that in the chat so I can kind of keep note of that? What to watch?
Oh, I got a question too.
I'm sorry, say that again. So far,
my bad. Oh, can you write what to watch in the chat, private chat, so I can keep a note?
Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, I can do that. I'm sorry, Eisen. I didn't hear him. I'm sorry.
No, that's fine. That's fine. I was gonna ask, have you seen Discovery?
Who, me?
Yeah.
Unfortunately.
Oh, okay. I've only seen a couple of episodes, so I was wondering if it was.
Keep it that way. Keep it that way.
Then never mind. I'm going no further then.
They're gonna launch the 3rd season in about 2-3 weeks, and they already canceled it.
But damn.
So whatever they filmed is what you're gonna get, and then it's over. But yeah, that crap they're doing, the stuff Discovery is not based on the original concept of Star Trek. That's Discovery is based on J.J. Abrams' Star Trek.
Okay.
And I'm sorry, Supervisor, I'm typing.
Oh yeah, because I don't know, Star Trek. I never really got into it, but
me either.
Yeah, I like Star Wars better.
It's kind of like
I wish I would have though.
You can't really avoid it when it comes to pop culture, you know.
I agree. You can't avoid it. But I got into Star Wars.
Not just pop culture, but real life. You got to understand, a lot of the technology we have right now came from fans who watch Star Trek. Flip phones came from the communicator. Scientists
they watch talking into their watch.
Yeah. The pad that Jean-Luc used in Next Generation, that's an iPad. I mean, a lot of the technology we use for personal communications came from people who grew up watching Star Trek.
So, Lawrence, you're talking about the original Star Trek movie, The Wrath of Khan, Search for Spock, The Voyage.
All that's good. But
Wrath of Khan might have been the best movie.
No, Into the Darkness was better than Khan.
Huh?
No, he's trolling again.
Okay, wait. So how about anything from the Next Generation, or no? Just stay away from that.
Yeah. No. Next Generation is good. Next Generation is good.
It was good.
It's just that Next Generation, the TV show, good, but then when you get into the movies, you'll start to see a serious decline in writing quality. So if you're a hardcore fan, you'll force your way through it. If not, then you could let it go. All
right, I'm gonna see how I do, man. I'm gonna try Star Trek. I'm gonna try it. Just see how I do.
What I'm doing right now in the back chat is I'm giving you the series based on when they were produced in chronological order. Okay.
Cool.
Now keep in mind. Keep in mind the vast majority of them are 7 years worth of stories. God, the original Star Trek series lasted 2.5, 3 years. Next Generation lasted 7. Deep Space Nine lasted 7, and Voyager lasted 7.
Here you go, Lawrence. Here you go.
So that's a lot of stuff. If you get the chance, watch Star Trek. Of course, I got it. As a matter of fact, here's a little trivia for you.
I forgot
when they brought in new characters for that animated show, that Catwoman and some other dude. They did it because they didn't want to hire Nichelle Nichols to play Uhura, and they didn't want to hire George Takei to play Sulu. Leonard Nimoy walked out of production because he said, unless you bring them on and you pay them fairly, I'm not going to do this. And that's how they got
Why did they want to pay him?
Just trying to be cheap.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, idiots.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That's what it was.
Making all that damn money. He tried to save.
But Leonard Nimoy was the man. I'm telling you.
Well, I think the thing is that what a lot of these creators forget or don't want to realize is that this is a niche genre.
Oh, absolutely.
So it's always going to be the core fans that are going to support it. So
even when it's bad,
yes, even when it's bad, you got to have something that's going to draw them. Just like with Star Wars, which is why I'm glad they got Kathleen Kelly out of that piece, except for that one piece. The only thing she's got creative control over is this one last piece that with I forgot that lady's name, Leslie something. That they're doing is supposed to be this all female
Leslie Jones.
Nice.
Wait, you're doing what with Star Wars? What are you talking about?
Kathleen Kennedy is not in creative control anymore.
Yeah.
George Lucas is back in now, and it looks like shit. I think Jon Favreau is gonna end up being over creative control, and she's gonna be pushed out once her contract is up.
Okay. Yep.
Favreau, he's out of the MC universe. He's moved in with Star Wars. He knows a plethora of information about the expanded universe.
Great shit, man. Finally.
And the thing, because the thing about it is, they put Kathleen Turner on the back burner after Rise of Skywalker or whatever that last one was.
The second one. So it started with the second one.
Yeah, the last Jedi.
It got shaky. And then after this last one, the Rise of Skywalker, that's when everybody talked bad about them. Harrison Ford, Daisy Ridley, Donald Driver, not Donald.
Donald Driver, the wide receiver.
Adam Driver, right?
Adam Driver. Everybody talked bad about her because, you got whatever they had originally what they wanted to do going in. She came in and changed and took out all of that shit because of the simple fact she wants to do away with the Skywalker bloodline and make the most powerful Jedi in history a fucking female, which was supposed to be played by that feminist chick that did Miss Marvel. I won't even say the captain shit because it was never captain.
Yeah, because the Force Awakens, like I told people, it made a lot of money and it was great. But if you really sit down and you take that, and you take the New Hope and you play them side by side, it's literally a play by play. It's literally a play by play
because they played it safe.
Force Awakens is also false advertising.
And then they brought in then Kathleen, in order to continue her control, she brought in Rian Johnson. That's how we got The Last Jedi. And then from there, the Disney CEOs had a meeting, their annual meeting, which I've heard the annual meeting. Because when you own stock or whatever, you can actually be there and listen in on the meetings, regardless of what level the stock is. But I've listened to them, and they were seriously concerned about what she did to Star Wars.
She messed it up.
And what happened is during that meeting, there was a decision made, and that's when they brought J.J. Abrams back to fix Rise of Skywalker because it was going straight to hell. And then from there, it was already too late. And then when that movie came out, it didn't help anything. Then they put her on the back burner, and they brought Jon Favreau in to do The Mandalorian on Disney Plus. And because it did so well, because Jon Favreau, like the rest of us, is a fan, right? And while Jon Favreau was filming, he actually brought George Lucas in to get his opinion. Kathleen Kennedy didn't like that. She tried to bum rush to come into the set, and Bob Iger, the chairman at the time, told her to get the fuck. From that point forward, they kept her on the back burner.
Iger.
So then it kept going from there, and they figured, okay, let's keep her on the back burner because it's going to look negative if we fire a female of this power level. Since her contract is over in 2021, we're going to keep her and just let the contract run out because it runs out in the first quarter of 2021. And then what they did is they took Kevin Feige. And they moved him, they kept him control of the MCU, but they also put him in charge of Marvel Comics as a whole. Then from there, he started to make a play for Star Wars by saying we're going to bring in Brie Larson to play a character in Star Wars, one of the most popular female characters. But they let that go. They didn't say anything. As of last week, Kathleen Turner has been completely on the back burner. I'm sorry, Kathleen. Thank you. Kathleen Kennedy is completely on the back burner. George Lucas has literally personally told Brie Larson, "You can kiss that shit goodbye."
Yeah, she's only involved
I'm sorry. I'm almost done. And then on top of that, because of that, what happened with that, people started to seriously look at Brie Larson playing Captain Marvel, and people who were backing it are suddenly starting to admit that movie's not all that great.
Yep.
So now her position inside the MCU is at jeopardy as well.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. That's it as a whole. I might have missed a few pieces, but overall, I think I got it.
Yeah, there's a thing, and also, with Bob JPEG over at who's over Disney, the Disney side of Star Wars, wanted to pretty much say they all decided, hey, look, we got to bring back Lucas because look, we are losing money. With what it's just terrible because talking about bringing in new fans, they're blaming the fans for. There's like at least between all three movies, at least 10 hours of footage that she cut out. There's 4 from the last one alone. I mean, you had Harrison Ford is pissed off because when they decided to kill the character, he wasn't mad about them deciding to kill off the character of Han Solo. But the fact that whenever you go to it, that the first time that they have a meeting on screen is in the second movie, when really The Force Awakens is actually supposed to be about the character of Ben Solo. But because she does not want that, she does not want a male lead. She wants to create a whole new thing, and Kathleen Kennedy want to create a whole new thing, getting rid of the Skywalker bloodline, which is supposed to be a male dominant bloodline, and creating a whole new female character for Brie Larson, she's supposed to be the most powerful Jedi throughout fucking history.
Yep.
Get out of here. No.
Because here's the thing about Force Awakens when J.J. Abrams wrote it. He not only did the movie, but he left story notes. There are the two main characters of this version of Star Wars was supposed to be 2 people and 2 people only. Adam Driver playing Ben Solo and John Boyega playing Finn. That's why Finn was able to use a lightsaber in Force Awakens, because he was supposed to be the main character. Kathleen Kennedy saw that, wasn't thrilled about it, and that's when she brought in Rian Johnson, and they started switching everything. Because that's one of the arguments John Boyega makes. John Boyega makes arguments online, in news articles, and in interviews. He was supposed to be one of the main stars, and he has not forgiven him for that.
Yeah.
Yo, I'm gonna stuff my face with food. But
okay. Yeah. Cool.
And Lawrence, I emailed you. Check your email.
Yeah. I saw it. I'm gonna respond. I read the whole thing. I'm gonna respond. If not tonight, tomorrow.
All right. And you said you're doing another review like this, right, Eisen?
Yes. I'm doing next Saturday. I'm doing the that Deathstroke of Knights and Dragons.
Okay, I'm gonna watch that before the weekend.
Okay. Question before Soul leaves: are we going to review The Boys?
Oh my god! Damn, I've got to look at that. I've never looked at it.
I don't got Amazon Prime though.
Man, you better use the internet.
Yeah, I mean,
with the access to the internets.
How many episodes?
Huh?
How many episodes does it have?
Have you seen any episodes? Or
no,
like any?
I haven't seen.
It's 2 seasons. I think it's eight episodes per season. Dog, this shit is fire.
Yeah, the first season was 8 episodes, and I think this season is 2, and it's up to episode 4, maybe.
Yeah,
no, it's up to episode 8. The last episode of the season is coming out this next Friday.
That's perfect because I downloaded all the other ones, so I'm gonna check them out straight through.
This show is. I can't wait to talk about it.
I'm glad you said that. Being that I need to go back over at Netflix and relook at The Witcher again. I think I want to do some reviews on that because I really like it.
Yeah. I saw season 1 of that.
Yeah, they've only got 1 season right now. The Witcher is awesome. You got to check that out too, Aegon.
The Witcher, okay.
Yeah, it's great.
Damn
it. The boys. I don't know about the show, but the comic is crazy. I know that.
The comic is better than the show, but they did a really good job at casting, the acting, they took stuff out that's not in the comic, but they put other stuff that's good. Like it, it's tight. It's tight. It's
I know
tight.
everything I heard about it, both from comic fans and non-comic fans, they said that show was really damn good.
Okay.
Well, if it's
Somebody
fucking
need to check out
Umbrella
that.
Academy, then I'll go. I'll try it out.
Yeah, I need to check it out.
But yeah, man, I'll see you later though.
All right, later. So,
All right, thanks, all.
All right, peace.
Peace.
Aegon, hey, you gonna do a stream later?
Probably later on tonight. Like
Cool,
you gotta
cool.
be.
Cool.
Yeah, but right now I gotta do some stuff at work. I came to work
I
early.
gotta get something to eat, so I'm gonna get ready to shut
Yeah,
down.
me too.
All right, right.
You know, I just realized Smooth's been sitting here dead ass quiet.
Yeah. Smooth, you sleep? You may be asleep.
Yeah, he might have went to sleep.
Oh, really?
Okay.
Well, we gonna close out anyways. I'm hungry.
This
I gotta get something to eat.
This was fun. This was real fun. I enjoyed this.
Yeah, hold on. Let me get my stuff off.
I wasn't gonna close yet. I was just gonna say that we had a great talk. I know it's supposed to be a movie review on Superman, the Man of Tomorrow, but we talked about a lot of good nerd stuff in here. So.
Oh yeah, and that's why I be quiet, because I be learning. It's hard. It's because if I don't want to break you or Lawrence or y'all train of thought, because I'm learning stuff that I never knew.
Oh yeah, and before I let you go, hey, you need to look at Bleach.
Okay. I need to set some time apart for that, because the bridge. I'm abridging that, and that's disrespectful. I'm abridging that online, learning through other people. That's disrespectful, because I didn't know it was that tight.
I'm telling you, man. I'm telling you. I am the best villain in anime history. I'm the best villain in history.
I ain't mad at you.
I am the best. And the boot, and even the boot, even though Soul Provider didn't want to do it, we had to vote, me being the number one top 10 villain of anime. So we got it. I didn't want to. I would have settled for number 2. I didn't want to, but I would have done it. But I'm telling you, I am the number one. I am the best villain in all of it. I'm gonna say I'm the best villain in any creation of any story. I will say I will give Sheev Palpatine second to me, especially when you read the Darth Plagueis book in Star Wars and what they are calling the Legend series. It allows you to delve deep into the psyche of the character that the movies don't show you of in a way. So,
dang, man, I can't wait to really get into it. So,
and it's a great book for any fan of Star Wars. It's a great book to actually read. Darth Plagueis.
Can't wait to get into all that, man. Running, because I internalize a lot of media that I watch. That's why I be watching things multiple times.
Gotcha.
And it's hard for me to get into like new things abruptly, because I still be like processing things in my head from old stuff. One thing I can say about Man of Tomorrow, and this wasn't a bad thing, but the mouth movements to me of the characters, the mouth movements of the characters.
Okay, I got you.
They were kind of Beavis and Butthead-ish. And
actually, no, he's right. In certain shots, it did look like that. It did look like that.
Like it was good animation, but just numbers like the mouths were like shapes at times, like shape, like shape 1, shape 2, shape 3, shape 5, it's like that. It's like you could just tell they was like flicking between shapes of mouth movements. I dig the who is the guy that normally runs the is it Daily Planet?
Perry White.
Perry White.
Whenever I stated in here, I made a statement that that they made him J. Jonah-esque like.
Yeah, that's how I say the Spider-Man guy.
Hey, hold on. Hey, checking for you. Come up real quick. I'm gonna drop this. Come up real quick. Checking for you. And, he's got a lot of knowledge too. So before we go out, I'm gonna let him say.
But real quick, before he pops up, concerning checking for you and you, Aegon, and you, Eisen, I did watch the stream.
The stream
with Private Foster.
Oh.
Hey, we'll talk about that later.
No. I know. I'm not going to talk about it now. I'm just letting you know that I watched it, and when we get a chance on somewhere else, we're gonna hit it.
Oh yeah, that's gonna be pretty okay. Yeah.
What's good checking for you?
Check money.
No, not much.
Shalom.
Yeah.
Shalom.
Okay. I noticed in the chat you said that there will be other iterations. What iterations were you talking about?
Other iterations of let's just say villains, though. I mean, because the character Aizen Sama, yeah, that's a good villain, though. But there's going to be other iterations, though.
Oh, you're talking about in Bleach, period, or just
yes.
Oh, man.
No, I'm talking about an anime.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
I see what you're saying.
anime in general, though.
In general. Man, I don't care. No other villain has been well written as Aizen. Sosuke. I am biased. I'm gonna admit it. I am biased. I admit I am biased. I'm telling you, but I mean the whole. I think that whole when those first 3 seasons led up to it. But I mean, because of the whole fact of there's no way that this guy can be the villain. There's no way. He's not the bad guy. And then when he is, and then when he shows you how far ahead he is and how low he thinks of everybody, and then when you get to see why, I mean, it's just
all they did was just pull a slight Scooby-Doo on you.
No, they ain't put no Scooby-Doo. No, we're not doing it. You are not doing it with this character. No, there isn't no Scooby-Doo because here's the thing. This character was powerful and he was a mastermind. He nothing now. He's not. Ain't no going around going. Ain't no creeper here. No, ain't none of that. None of that. There is no other villain better than him. In anime, the second villain that I would say who is close to him in complexity and just overall genius, and because they're just freaking off their rocker, is Shinobu Sensui.
Right, Shaggy.
No. Shinobu Sensui is a great character.
Why do you say that? Why do you say that about Aizen? That he's like kind of it's like Scooby Doo.
Because you're talking to Chicken for you.
Oh, you're asking me?
Yeah.
Well, it's just because, I mean, just like what he said. I mean, they kept it a mystery. This guy was one of the good guys, but he was doing all this mischievous stuff. And then in the end, it happened to be him. It's straight out of Scooby-Doo.
No, it's not straight out.
But you gotta realize
the
Japanese, they do get some inspirations from American cartoons and American movies, though.
Okay, I'll give you on that. But I think the thing is the mystery thing that you learn is that whenever they say this is not the Captain Aizen, I know whenever he just states to them simply, the Captain Aizen you think you knew never existed.
What's interesting, and like I said, I don't know much about the character, so right. I'm not even gonna speak on it. I'm just trolling to be stupid.
Yeah, I know.
Right, but asking a serious question right now. In all fairness, when I listen to Aizen explain about Aizen Sama, and I could be wrong, but I think my brain goes classical, and for some reason, when you talk about him, all I get in my head is Moriarty.
Yes, intellect level. Yes, I mean, when you
try, who's Moriarty?
He's Sherlock Holmes. He's Sherlock Holmes's arch enemy.
Okay.
Yeah. You laugh, Check-In. Did I get that wrong?
No, you're absolutely right.
Yeah, exactly. Except, except he has the power. He's got the mind, the mastermind set of a Moriarty, but he has the power level. His power, it's like I would say dark side.
Okay,
that's who I could think of offhand.
Dark side or Thanos?
Okay, you know what? I would say Thanos, maybe with the gauntlet.
Okay, all right.
Because essentially he's immortal now, but the thing is that you never actually seen his true power yet.
Okay.
Even in the 1,000-year blood war, because every he can do Bankai, but he hasn't needed to. His Shikai, just the first level of first stage of evolution and power, is all that he's had to do because it can control all 5 senses.
Is the manga still going on?
No, the manga's ended with the 1,000-Year Blood War arc. I got to get a book on it. I've got to get that.
Notice how he said yet.
What's yet? Oh, yet to use his Bankai. So if he hasn't. So I don't know if Tite Kubo will start writing again, or if it'll they'll do something later. But yeah, he hasn't used his Bankai. It's only been a Shikai.
Yeah, see, and like I said, there's nothing I can do on this because out of all my pop culture, that's my blind spot, anime. I couldn't speak on it if I wanted to. The only thing I can do is when I hear you guys talk, make a reference in my head of who, when you're describing the person, what they sound like to me, based on what I know. So, and that's why I said Moriarty. I wasn't trying to be funny or disrespectful.
No, it's not disrespectful.
It's just that's what it sounds like.
And you're absolutely right, because I mean, when it comes to that particular character, and that's the reason why I referenced Scooby-Doo, it's like the same thing. But regarding character creation, I don't see the writers or even the producer or director even going that far with the Aizen Sama character, though. They're probably going to leave it as is.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Not doing the Bankai thing. There really is no need for him to go there. And whenever I look at the 1,000-Year Blood War arc, I know other people talk about, Yawok. And, the 1,000-Year Blood War, God, everything that I've seen and noticed on it, too many people are overpowered. It just got nonsense power-ups. That's why I don't, to be honest, the first 366 episodes of what's been so far, as far as in the anime, and then whenever you combine, I don't know how many. I'm trying to remember what the number is on the manga.
And you're right though, because I mean that's a part of the reason why, let's just say, a lot of people are tuning out of anime and manga, because it's like you get these characters that are just too overpowered, and it gets too repetitive.
Man, that Naruto was big on that shit, man.
Yeah. Because for me, that's why I said anime is the blind spot for me. Because if you ask me to name a new anime that I knew, I'm gonna leave with the last one I saw, and that was Yu Yu Hakusho, which shows you how shows you how long it's been since I've watched anime. That's the last thing I know. And like I said, I didn't even watch that completely because it started going off the rails.
Yeah, it was good. You got to finish it.
I keep on track with most of the new stuff, but I'll watch 1 or 2 episodes and I'll be like, yeah, I've seen this before. And I mean, and that's the reason why I'll just always jump back to like my good old Outlaw Star. Outlaw Star
was a good one.
You cannot go wrong with Outlaw Star or Cowboy Bebop.
They were good.
Okay. Yeah, for me, it was just 2. It was Yu Yu Hakusho and it was Yu-Gi-Oh. And like I said, the last season of Yu-Gi-Oh I bounced out of because it was just repetitious. And Yu Yu Hakusho, I think I maybe came close to finishing the 2nd season, but like I said, it just became derivative, and then they became overpowered, and then it just jumped the shark for me. I just tapped out.
I think the only anime that kind of got me back watching was the Baki series. And I was like, okay. I was like, okay, kind of like a fighter series, that type of thing, no. But at the same time,
ain't the definition of OP, Baki?
Yeah, but I mean, it was just different though. It had a different flair to it though. But you're right, it overpowered.
Yeah, they're too overpowering. And for me, God, that's why I said,
Lawrence, you know who's good anime? Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood.
Ooh, yeah.
No, actually, my kids watch that. Because I'm saying, if you guys want to have a conversation about anime, it's not me you need to talk to. It's my daughters.
Yeah, gotcha.
Because see, my thing is that I raised them on everything: Marvel, DC, old cartoon, animation, you name it. And the anime stuff they picked up and took it from there. So I cross trained them in all things in that respect.
I'm like
they're just more advanced than I am with
I'm
with,
like
with
you,
anime.
Lawrence. All the stuff you've seen from back then, I've seen. I probably got like 10 years, maybe 15 years. I'm probably 10 or 15 years under you, but I was watching that same stuff though. I came up through the 80s watching all that stuff though, but you probably saw the stuff from the 70s though.
Oh, I saw the stuff from I got the stuff. I saw this stuff from the 60s. From the 60s. Because like I said, a lot of people don't know Hanna-Barbera goes a long way back, man. Long way back.
You're right.
And I saw like the reruns of all that stuff though, like in the 80s through the 90s though, and they were shown on like Sci-Fi Channel and sometimes Nickelodeon, and like you would just catch it here and there, like just.
Shoot, I remember the old Johnny Quest, man.
The old Johnny Quest.
And then whenever they did the new adventures, they made it more anime style. And
I remember that.
I remember all that.
The Hanna-Barbera version of Return of the Apes, that was really good. That was actually almost as better than like the actual old movie series, though.
Well, let's take it a step further. A lot of people, and you guys might recognize it, but a lot of people don't. You know, I say Brave Star, they look at me like I'm retarded. They have no idea what I'm talking about. Then I'll say,
I don't remember Brave Star, but I don't remember it, but I remember the name.
And then I'll say The Impossibles, Herculoids, Birdman.
Now I remember Herculoids,
Birdman,
Third Thunder, Barbarian, all that good stuff.
Yeah, I remember Thunder. The Impossibles, I don't remember.
Yeah,
I remember the Impossibles.
Yeah, I don't remember them, but Herculoids and everybody else.
I mean, you're talking about. I grew up before Marvel had animation. They would cut panels out of a comic and move them across the camera and call it the Marvel Animated Action Hour.
Damn,
I remember that. I remember, oh man, and it was done by Hanna-Barbera. Hanna-Barbera did like a lot of that stuff, though.
No, that one Hanna-Barbera didn't do. It was just Marvel. They took an old cheesy.
Okay. You're talking
what's interesting. What's interesting though is because they couldn't make it with that, they started doing albums. And what a lot of people don't know is the first live action album of the Fantastic Four. It was Bill Murray playing the Human Torch. That was one of his first. That was one of his first working gigs. Yeah,
had no idea.
Yeah, man, it's crazy because they used to give out albums back in the day where people would record the comic, you know, by voice and the action in it.
You're like old radio, because I had old radio. I had the Star Wars album collection of when I was young, though. And I would religiously just listen to it every single day.
Yep.
Wow.
Yep. Yeah, I mean, you're talking about me growing up buying Wheaties and Chex Mix, and on the back of the box, there's actually an album on the back of the box. You can cut it out properly and then drop it literally on your turntable and play and hear the adventures. That's the time frame I grew up. You know what I'm saying? So
he's absolutely right. Like an old 45. Like an old 45.
Yep.
Wow.
Yep.
Wow.
That's what I'm saying. I've been checking this out for a long. That's why I get so upset when I see feminism and all this other stuff comes in, because I know that's not what this is. You're missing the whole concept of Joseph Campbell's hero's journey. You're missing the whole concept of the breakdown of the archetypes by Carl Jung and you know, Plato, Aristotle, you name it. I mean, this has been going on for a long time. You know what you're doing is wrong. That's why it vexes me. I'm not a Star Wars fan, but I do understand Star Wars fans being pissed, because I get pissed at it just because it's not the concept of the universe
at all.
You know what I mean? I mean, I've watched a few Star Wars movies here and there, but I don't have to be a fan to know that this is wrong. You understand what I'm saying? So when I hear Eisen blowing his cool, I don't get mad because he listens to me when I blow my cool on Star Trek. We all have that passion, so we understand what's being done here. You know, it could be Star Wars, it could be Star Trek, it could be somebody who likes Terminator. I don't give a rat's ass, but I
watched it all. I watched it
exactly.
all.
And you know, I'm not gonna lie and say I've watched it all, but you know, I've watched a bit. Like I said, I watched a bit of Star Trek here and there, and I couldn't disagree with you. The only thing memorable to me, other than certain actors being good at acting and certain dialogues being good, but the stories being bad. I mean, that's the thing for me. I mean, Benedict Cumberbatch is a great actor.
He absolutely
I think
is.
his portrayal of Khan, nothing was bad about it, but the story writing is terrible.
Man, you got to watch him play Sherlock Holmes. You got to watch him play Sherlock Holmes.
Oh yeah, I do need to watch that on BBC. And then even Chris Pine as Kirk, it wasn't bad acting. He could pull off the smug nature of the character. He could pull off all of that. But the writing that they did for these stories was horrible. And then when I get to Star Wars, where you're talking about somebody who's delved in deep into the expanded universe. I've got 3 series where I've read 3 series. I own 2 series where more than that. I mean,
from my understanding, the way you are with the expanded universe is the way I am with comics. That's your shit.
Yeah, exactly. I agree.
I mean, that's your shit. And if we've talked, your shit.
Yeah.
Because there's a lot of stuff you taught me that I had no clue about.
Right.
So when you get into people like you,
right,
regardless of what particular franchise you're following.
Yeah,
it's hurtful, man. It's absolutely, especially when you sit here and all of us grew up at different time frames, but we have our loves for certain genres, and you sit here and the actors who've played these characters. Not only is the character ingrained, but so is the actor associated with it, and to see them get mistreated, misrepresented, both from the fictional aspect and the realistic aspect, it pisses you off, man.
It does. And heck, when you said that, I mean, you got to take it and look at it this aspect for other people don't know. Lawrence is huge, especially in DC, and he wasn't big at first on the way they've written this latest iteration of Superman, and for me to be able to point out how they're viewing how Henry Cavill wanting to delve into this character in a different way instead of him just being like Soul Provider said earlier, him just being that powerful out of the gate. And no growth in understanding how everything affects his character, how Henry Cavill is going to take a different approach in seeing how every encounter is affecting the mental and emotional psyche of him to create and see how he becomes this icon that he is. And when I made Lawrence go, I never thought about it like that. Now that you say it like that.
No, don't lie. My exact words is, well, damn, now I'm excited to see the fucking movie.
Exactly.
Those are my exact words.
Yeah.
My exact words.
Yeah.
Because I was done.
Yeah. Because exactly. And when I brought that out to you, because we both agreed, man, Michael Shannon's portrayal of Zod was and it goes to show the acting of the dialogue in that movie, and in that Man of Steel movie, because I mean his acting in that dialogue had to be on point after the high that Feora created in talking trash to him while beating the crap out of him, telling him how weak he was. And then that dialogue scene there where he's mocking Zod because his armor's been ripped and he has to get used to the atmosphere. and Zod sees that mockery. He's being condescending with him, and he literally snaps and he starts throwing his arm off. And a scene where he says, everything I do, no matter how cruel it is, I do for my people. And now because of you, I have no people. You, some farm boy who grew up in this squalor, lecturing me about being a warrior. When I was born, I was bred for this. And you see him begin to fly. It's like, oh shit, it's about to get real now. Yep. And then even putting him in a situation where he has to choose over being the last Kryptonian or letting him kill these people. I mean, just the weight of that situation and thinking now and understanding that Henry Cavill wants to take it to where these situations, these decisions are creating a psyche of what he will become. It's it's genius to me. Yep. It's a different way to look at the character, because everything else, it's all about, well, you got to have a certain power level of character because he's too overpowered. While this is focusing on the aspect of the growth of the character, on becoming who humanity should strive to be. It's a totally different aspect of looking at this character in a different way, and I think it's well worth of letting him play him and do this journey of seeing what he'll grow into.
Yeah, let him have the shot. Because I think that day we ended up talking for like an hour and a half maybe on the phone, and there's a lot more nuance and aspects that Eisen shared with me to make me come to that final conclusion that he's not doing here right now, because we've already been going for almost 4 hours. But the fact of the matter is that by the time you were done and getting me to look at it from that perspective, you know, like I said, it wasn't even the fact that, you know what, okay, I'll check the movie out and see. It's like literally, I'm excited to see the movie. I'm really seriously dead ass willing to give it a shot and see where Henry Cavill goes with this, because it's a good deal. And if they can give me the writing level, like the words they gave Michael Shannon playing Zod, I think it's going to be damn good. I really do. Because Michael Shannon, even though he played Zod, here's the funny thing about Michael Shannon. He might have played Zod, but everything he said, he made an awesome Luther if he was one. He would make an awesome fucking Luther. Seriously. I mean, seriously. Especially when you compare it to Jesse Eisenberg's portrayal. That was retarded.
And you know, for me, that's why for me personally, I know Marco hates it. For me personally, you see, but I think the best live action portrayal of Lex Luthor that we've seen in cinematic for me has been Kevin Spacey. Now the movie wasn't that good, but Kevin Spacey's portrayal of Lex Luthor was spot on.
That was some dark malicious shit. I sucked at every moment he was on screen.
Yes, and these really moments good. He had when he had with his underlings, and you could see that look in his face, like, God, I'm surrounded by freaking idiots, and it's like that's Lex Luthor, and it was, you know, it was.
They were trying to encapsulate more of the that 1980s type of like flair, though, and I get it.
Yeah. Now, I will give credit. I will give credit where credit's due, because I've said this to Eisen before too, and I think I sent you a clip if I remember correctly.
Oh yeah.
John Cryer of all people did a scene on the Supergirl TV show. Playing Lex Luthor, man, he nailed it.
It was great.
Nailed it. Sent shivers down my spine. I was like,
it was great.
Of all people, John Cryer.
Yeah, because up until Spacey, my favorite had been Rosenbaum on Smallville. I'm gonna be honest.
Yeah, I can see that.
I thought his portrayal was great, and you know, I know they changed things to make a new, you know, make it new and try and, you know, attract a new audience, but his portrayal was awesome.
Well, that's what I told you when we looked at Superman and Man of Tomorrow. I told you, looking at the design they did, it looks like Michael Rosenbaum for Smallville.
Yeah, I had never thought about that until you mentioned it, and it does. And his portrayal was awesome. I thought it was great. Up until Spacey, then when I seen Spacey, I was like, shit.
Spacey messed me up big time. Yes. He messed me up big time. It was really good.
That was the only bright spot about the movie for me.
I would have to agree.
I mean, and it's sad to say for Brandon Routh at the time, who I think has grown as an actor since then. It's just that to me, Brandon Routh looked too damn young, and the writing was terrible.
No, the writing was definitely terrible.
The writing was terrible, but for me, Brandon Routh just looked too damn young.
The writing was terrible, and in addition to that, really, do we want to really make, of all people, Superman a deadbeat dad? Seriously?
Yeah, they did. That was part of the writing. Yeah.
I mean, that was just.
Yeah.
Of all people, Superman's. You want to make him a deadbeat dad for real?
Yeah.
Nah, man, I'm tapping out.
Wasn't that the one where the bullet bounced off his eye?
Yeah, that's the one. Yeah, that's the one.
Yeah.
That's the one.
Yeah, Bryan Singer directed it.
Who?
Bryan Singer.
Yeah, he did. That's right.
Yeah, the guy who did the X-Men movies. Well, the first three anyway.
Yeah, and the third one in that one I didn't care for either.
No, wait a minute. He did the first two, skipped number 3, came back for number 4. He directed Age of Apocalypse. Age of
No, that's like 5.
Is that 5?
That's 6.
Oh, it is?
You had First Class, then you had the other one with the Sentinels. But after that, what was that one
Days
called?
of Future Past.
Days of Future Past.
That's right.
And to me, as far as all of the X-Men movies are concerned, none of them can touch First Class. First Class is the best one.
You don't like Days of Future Past?
Yeah, I mean it was good. It was okay, but
Days of Future Past was okay, but only because it was more eye candy than it was
true.
Yes,
you know what I mean.
True.
But the story,
we got to see characters we never got to see before.
Yeah.
So
The one thing I didn't like about Days of Future Past is the fact that they made every Sentinel like Nimrod. Like
yeah, they did.
I didn't like that because I think Nimrod's supposed to be specific because he's like Master Mold's like a head honcho.
Right.
Yeah.
And I like
that's true.
And like the biblical context behind Nimrod, so I wanted to like to flesh that out, but that wasn't gonna happen.
Right, yeah.
Nah,
it was. Nah. Yeah, I mean, it was like, I'm gonna be honest. After First Class, there was no place to go but down. It was done so wonderfully in the writing to me.
It was. It was a good movie.
And
only part that I didn't like, and this is nitpicking, I didn't like the way that Havoc was treating Beast and nobody said shit.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Like you had a house full of mutants, and he's like making fun of him because of his skin color. I'm like, and that's what made me realize that a lot of new let's say Marvel directors are basically making these superhero shows, but most of the superheroes look like humans. But that wasn't what the X-Men is. It was about differences. They're like, guys like Nightcrawler, Morlocks, Beast, Mystique, people that everybody didn't look like regular humans,
right?
But basically, they try to give all the light to the mutants that look like humans and the ones that don't look like
Well, Beast was human.
No, I mean, didn't look like it. Like the
No, he did. That's what I'm saying. He did.
Originally, he did.
Yeah, when the X-Men first started, he looked original. The only reason he's blue is because he experimented on himself.
Yeah, his own hubris.
Yeah. He was working for Brand Corporation in the comics. He was trying to figure out a cure for mutations or something like that, and he tested it on himself, and that's how he got the blue fur.
But he still had the deformities of his feet and his hands.
Yes, he did. Yeah, he did. He had big hands, big feet. Yeah.
And what's the name was making fun of him because of that. And I'm thinking to myself, like, Xavier, like, wouldn't you be like the first one to be like, yo, Havoc, shut the fuck up. Like, what's wrong with you?
Mm-hmm. Did you say something, Checking?
What? Okay, my bad.
No.
Okay. Well, the other thing you have to understand too, Aegon, they're kids.
Yes. But
hold on. This is why I was getting it. Man, kids are fucking brutal with each other. They're trying to be funny now for real.
No, I like some real. The thing is, I can accept Havoc being like that because Havoc was a
he was a senior.
He was a dickhead in the comics. Like,
right.
Basically, Scott was the straight and narrow. Havoc didn't listen. Yeah. Even in Age of Apocalypse, the comics, it was like that. Like they treat him like a weird. They treat him like because he didn't listen. He was really brash and headstrong. Where Scott was more the mellowed out one. I'm cool with him saying that stuff to Beast, but I would think that they would be the ones to check him. Like this isn't like we're the X-Men. This ain't a place for that. But we just kept like, hey, come on. It was like on some like high school bully shit. And I'm like, this is the last place this is for.
You got to think though. That's exactly what they were. High school kids.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, exactly what they were.
Because they switched it around from the comics. Because in the comics, Havoc is the baby brother. Cyclops is the older.
Yeah, that was weird too. I'm like,
but in the movie, Havoc is the oldest, and in addition to that, he's one of the senior students. And in addition to that, from First Class, he's the only one who's actually quote unquote seen battle. So he's got a certain arrogance and hubris about him.
Right.
That plays off in that.
Yeah.
Because as far as he's concerned, Beast, as far as he's concerned, Beast don't mean nothing. I'm the first one who was here. I was the one in battle. I know what it's really like. You just a new kid. That kind of nonsense.
Yeah. They changed it. They changed that, but I will say that the writing so far versus any of them was better than. I mean, it was just the best to me.
Yeah. Let's see what Disney gonna do.
Oh my God.
Have y'all listened to the audio version of Days of Future Past, the comic version?
No. Yes, I have it. Yeah, I have it.
I love that shit. Yo.
It's good. Now, what you need to do is go get the audio version of DC's Kingdom Come.
Ooh, I've read that. Of course, that graphic novel, but hearing it, I guess would be different.
Oh, it's wicked cool. Which
Yo,
is
Lawrence,
cool.
I think I might have that because I ripped a whole bunch of them off YouTube. Them before YouTube got took them off, they had a whole bunch of audio comic experiences on YouTube, like in like this big playlist, and I ripped it off, and I went back like a month later, they was all gone.
Yeah,
I ain't gonna lie, you know, I'm a reader, so it's kind of hard for me to break away from having those pages in my hand.
Right.
What the thing is I only listen to the audio after I've read it.
Okay, I got you.
Because I like to hear the actors do the radio portrayals. And
I
stuff
got
like
you.
that.
I got you. Makes sense.
And also, the best thing about the audio experience is they got sound effects. Like
that's pretty cool. That's pretty cool.
Like they got the Sentinels voices when Kitty Pryde is coming back to the not internment camp, coming back to the mutants camp in the Bronx. They got like the sound effects when Wolverine is cutting people and they screaming.
I got you. That's cool. Yeah. I say that would be cool. Yeah, it'd be cool.
It's been a while, but I know a couple of people who still do audio dramas based off comics and old TV shows and stuff like that. Maybe listen to a couple of them, you Eisen, you and Soul Provider, and then like bring them up as guests or something like that. I don't know.
Oh, that'd be tight, yo.
Yeah, that would be cool. Would be cool. But look, I gotta get something to eat. I guess I'll start with closing comments. Checking for you.
Thanks for allowing me to come up.
Oh yeah, no problem, man. Aegon,
thank you for having me on here, even though I was late. This was a tight experience. I can't wait to review
Deathstroke, Knights and Dragons. Can't wait to review that. I can't wait for us to review The Boys. Man, when I think about your channel and all the work that we do, I don't even care about the views. I care about the time we spend here. Oh yeah, it's fun.
It's just therapeutic, and the better we get at it, maybe we can make some money off it, maybe, but I don't even care about that, you know. Like it's pure. I like it.
Also, before you go, we're gonna have to do some episodes of Batman Beyond. I do have a complete series. I'd like to really
same here. Let's do it.
I'd like to review those too.
Let's do it. I love that show.
Yeah, it was great. Smooth, are you there? He probably sleep.
Smooth making Belgian waffles.
Yeah. Yeah, he doing something. So Lawrence,
thanks for having me. It was good seeing everybody up on the panel and everybody in the chat. I'm not sure, but I think you bumped up in subscribers.
I believe I did. I'm not sure either.
I think 3. I don't know.
All day, let's go.
Great topic. Always fun to be in here. Just talking about what makes us the cool ass nerds.
Right.
The world. But yeah, again, thanks for having me. It was great being up here talking to everybody about this stuff. It's always fun. As always, hashtag men first. And anybody who listens to this stream later and don't like it, we're blaming everything on checking for new. So.
Hey, and yeah, I'm here. I want this channel. I want to bring more nerd entertainment content. I hope and maybe even do some. I need to do some more Star Wars content. Being I know so much, so I should do some more on that, and hopefully have some more news and stuff like that to bring as far as that. Being Star Wars. Yeah, checking for you. Lawrence is trolling you.
What?
being that's it seems to be what I know more about, of course, in Bleach, but bring some more content on Star Wars and stuff like that. Like I said, I've got a plethora. I'm reading through the Yuzan Vong series right now in the books. It's a very dark series, but very, very good. I have some more content, and hey, peace out to the nerd folks.
All day.
Peace.
All day. Shalom.